I don't know specifically, it's not something we're looking to as much. Right now we're just refining small details in the tactics, trying to touch upon and fix the small things we can do between games. So I don't really know.
And in terms of like the AWP head-to-head, you've kind of got to face some legends of the game, which is pretty cool for yourself, being one as well. In terms of this head-to-head though, UV head trick, is this one that you're feeling pretty confident about?
I always study the players I play against a lot, and I think head trick is very capable. He is a part of what I myself call the Russian AWPers, which is a little bit more passive and supportive AWPers, like Wonderful is as well. I always feel good going into all matchups, and this isn't different. I think he is really good though, and I don't underestimate him at all. And I've also helped my team to like what they should be ready for.
All right, sweet. Thank you very much, man. Good luck in today's game. Thank you.
Device humble as ever, but hey man, I want this guy confident. I want this guy feeling good. He had a great game yesterday, especially on that overpass finisher.
I think right now we are looking at Device to make the difference. For Astralis, we're seeing a couple of individuals go missing in big moments and big games, and Device has been the consistent factor. And especially when we look, like you mentioned, Harry, the Dungeon statistics, he is being the one really leading from the front, using his experience to make a difference. And against a side like NIP, who are a little bit shaky at the moment, and have got a few players who are land inexperienced, like Head Trick, Device can make the difference.
Yeah, he certainly could. I kind of want to see how we're feeling about this game. So let's bring up the predictions here. Anders actually made the decision to abstain from voting on this one.
He doesn't want to pick a team. I respect it. He didn't want to pick anyone.
That isn't some like rogue squad that you've never heard of before. You know, we've seen 9 qualify. That's 10, I guess, if you're following like some Roman numeral arc. But yeah, you know, Astralis looking like the favorites here for everyone apart from Jack, and I think that's fair. That's fair enough.
Yeah, me and Neo
We're all on the same
obviously.
team. Hell, man, we don't even have to really talk about this. We're all just saying, yeah, Astralis.
Well, you know, you're down on 13 points. We're up on 16. We're feeling pretty good. I'm here to win it back-to-back weeks, and I know your recovery arc will be great. But how will Device's recovery arc be as we find out going into this BO3 up against NIP? Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with a match. Astralis taking on NIP, and those unicorn odds looking good for Astralis to start this one off. Obviously, let's take a look back to the matches we've already had from these two teams here in the RMR, as both sit at 1 and 2, needing 2 more BO3 wins to go straight through to Paris. Of course, there is that last chance decider, but no one wants to go there. FaZe are waiting. Obviously, with previous results, Astralis taking down Spirit 2-1 yesterday and surviving, starting their attempt at a reverse sweep run after losses to Vitality and Eternal Fire. And of course, NIP also losing to Vitality, but throw of 4s in there as well. And a win over the Turkish side puts us right here, ready and raring to go. Device looking ready, and always got a good posture, does this guy. Maybe some AWPers should take note.
I gotta say, the veto is pretty interesting as well. I think it's definitely something to bring up in towards the conversation. Nuke, Vertigo, and Overpass. Nuke picked by Astralis, Vertigo picked by Ninjas in Pajamas, and Overpass is gonna be our decider. This is pretty interesting just how things are panning out overall. These are two maps that both teams at times have not liked playing. Ninjas in Pajamas don't really like playing Nuke all that much, and Astralis on Vertigo is a little bit of a problem for them. Overpass and a map in which Astralis have a 7-map winning streak on.
Right out ramp though in this pistol. Zip gets that entry. It's Rez pushed back. And Astralis have ramp control. This is a perfect start to a round. They can fall back, try and fake things out, slow it down, drop B. Let's see how Nip respond to go lower immediately. Not much hesitation for Config. When is there ever? He wants to bring the heat.
Already, one up close. Blame F to 4, looking for more as well. Caught by Buzz. And now they've got space down towards that B side. I think, honestly, for Ninjas in Pajamas, trying to get back down towards B is going to be so difficult. They're going to be locked down in the post plant.
They're panicking already, but Astralis want nothing to do with this B bomb site. Back to lobby, back to Glaive, who's been masterminding this whole round, and no one is on upper at the moment. Rez is back in CT, so Astralis could just creep into that A site, and that'll probably be their pistol. Can Rez hit some fine shots with this USP as he rotates in at the right time?
He's going to have to stand and deliver. Rez, here they come. He spots them moving in out of the hut, and now they know he's in heaven as well. Can't really re-swing here, but he's going to have to try and find something to get this man up the vent. Alexi flashed for this fight, and he will win it out over Glaive. This turns the tide into the 3v3. Over in lobby, Zip lurking in the back line will deal with Alexi up through the vent, and just Brolin left now in the 1v3. Astralis, they've dealt with this at every turn. Now, one player between them and a decisive pistol round win. They keep 3 alive. They slow it down in the mid-round after getting that ramp control, go back into the A commit, and it ends up working out brilliantly. Good look in the pistol here for Astralis. And, you know, I do hope we can see, you know, it feels really odd to me considering who you have in this team, the kind of legends on Astralis, that when you go and look at it, you know, 4v5s is where this team have kind of had a rough go at it. And I think that's even harsher considering, you know, in terms of the opener here, a lot relies on Device, and he's been doing like a freakishly good job of finding 4v5s for the squad. Flame F in the smoke, gonna get rid of Config.
Tried to get into vent very quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, while we say Config was the ex-teammate of Astralis for even longer than that, teammate of Blame F in particular, right? These two have a very long history together, dating back across multiple rosters.
Look towards Astralis now. This pretty middling buy, considering what they've brought to the table. It's going to be very difficult. Upgraded pistols, 1 scout for Headstrick over towards Ninjas in Pajamas and a man disadvantage. Astralis, despite having the couple of MAC-10s, a pretty limited utility, all the room to work with, all the information too. And it's a bit of a gamble stack from NIP over towards ramp. This is itself, it's such a risk.
Yeah, just because of how slow Astralis are playing, despite not pushing off of that kill. Nip, I like the stack, right? Just lead everyone together and call a save if Astralis avoid you. Astralis wait a few seconds and they recommit on A. Couple of mollies to clear their corners, and this should be their round. Question is how much the Nip really want to even dedicate to it. Looks like nothing at all, and that's the right call. Yep. Play this anti-eco or force buy again rather than be on flat USPs.
There's no need, right? There really isn't any need at all. I think as well for Config, you're looking at him to maybe just keep his funds kind of pretty stocked up as best he can. No real reinvestment back in towards the next round. Just make sure, I guess, for Ninjas in Pajamas that they aren't hunting on the way out, but then at the same time, Astralis don't really need to hunt. Just make sure their exits are pretty clean. Second round on the board, already T-side, pretty damn good from them. Now, normally when I cast Nuke, I like to say the golden number of 6. If you can get 6 rounds on your T-side, you set yourself up for what is a pretty decent half. Of course, still requires you to kind of come into the CT, pick up a pistol, at least make it competitive in the opening 2 rounds of the second half, but 6 rounds is kind of a bare minimum for me. And right now for Astralis, looking pretty damn clean. And this, like we were saying, is a map in which Ninja Pajamas aren't actually too fond of. both statistically and as we can kind of see with the eye test.
Yeah, I think as well. I mean, Go has been getting more and more T-sided. The later we get into it with the current meta we're in, with the A1S post-nerf, and some of the maps being changed to accommodate T-sides more. For example, Anubis, very T-sided, not a lot of options for CTs, but as well as Ancient getting wide, and we've seen that map close up in time as well. And, you know, I think we've seen a lot of very T-sided games. You know, Nuke is a map where you have so many options, so many variations of smoke walls now, so many different defaults that I think anyone can get any amount of rounds in matches like these. But yeah, 6 is a good place to start. But I wouldn't get worried for Nip, even if it was 7 or 8 for Astralis on the T side.
Agreed.
That being said, Alexi is going to be under the test today, I think. Got Astralis going into yet this similar force buy. This time Blame gets down the vent. Config won't block him. Blame pretty wide shoulders. Just about squeezes through.
He's going to park up. I like this, right? He doesn't need to do anything. From this position alone, he's got all the room to work with. Anyone rotating is going to get caught in transition. Anybody trying to drop down to join him, going to have a safe route down towards that lower side. I mean, this in itself is such a strong position for Blame to hold, especially considering they know the buy is still going to be pretty low over towards an IP, and they're going to go and join them. This time over towards Secret, but smoke's come through. Slight gap to work with, but all things considered, a pretty safe path for the T-side.
Yeah, Blame having this early control means Nip cannot rotate down vent, and I think they know that as well. Alexi's trying to flank this last player. That's a great catch onto Device. He won't go for the gun. He's tagged up. Can Glaive grab this weapon? Holding on with the Mac 10, trying to finish the job. They chase this kill, and that's exactly what Alexi wants. These are clean headshots with a 5-7. What a commitment for Buzz to go for this kill right now. If he dies as well, it could be a massive problem, but the grenade lands well. Buzz gets that bomb and resets for what looks to be an upper split. But they're getting picked apart. The scout pistol combo. Another one connects. It's on to Blame up the vent. He finds a double, but they're right above him.
Should be a dead man. Scout going to finish him off. Hedrick with the close. It all starts with that Alexi B double kill over towards Secret. Nails 2 players, 1 man crossing down in Device, and then Glaive, who attempted the trade, even though he dies to the nade. It rotates in from NIP to try and fight that, to try and keep it contained while they know they have Astralis fighting out in the open. Was a thing of beauty, and they end up doing it with next to nothing, right? Still a couple of USPs in play in this round, and that's going to hype you up. Config really trying to energize the boys. That was something he put across in the interview. This, you know, he was saying, I'm going to try and keep the mindset good today. I'm going to try and keep the team pumped up today. And so I think winning a round like that is going to do wonders for the mindset of NIP.
Especially when you take an insta-kill through a smoke off the back of winning an eco round. And Nip are feeling invincible right now. And Brola makes a hasty rotation to that B-bomb site. So the outside smokes that Astralis wants through are no fear for Nip. And they have the resources to dedicate a player down below. This is a perfect start of the game for Nip, considering Astralis won the pistol. Hedrick holding for a boost or a jump across. The Device does not have an orb.
It's a big early swing round as well in terms of the economy. Both sides are really going to struggle to reinvest, especially you look towards Astralis, no bomb plant, no round, and they're going to have no funds to work with. Config up close and personal, ready for it, waiting. The double stack in fact, but Resurreins will find one. Config up close, on towards Blame. Device quick for the trade, but the numbers remain in favor of NIP.
Yeah,
and it's left down to 2.
Rez doesn't need to swing this. He can just hold a really passive line. He's looked away at the worst time. Device crouches under his crosshair. Player falls into the back of the bomb site. Alexi, I think he did that silent as well, but up the vent, loud and proud. Brolin stabs him in the back. Oh, I wonder if that was the silent drop for Alexi. They did not seem aware. And the molly goes up in heaven instead. That's a nice crunch for NIP as Astralis try a desperate A hit and a 2v4. But Nip coming into play early.
2 rounds in a row as well, where I think the thing that costs Astralis is the calls. I mean, it sort of seems very discombobulated, very all over the place. Do have to look towards Astralis, and of course, what is going wrong so far? NIP, they're not really doing anything too miraculous, winning out their 50s, but Astralis, a pretty bad read about how Ninjas in Pajamas were set up then. And it comes back to cost them. And look at the buy, look at what they've got to work with into round number 5 on the side of Minimalistic.
Yeah, 4 Glocks, a couple of Deagles, but if the Deags don't connect, this round will be dead in the water. Blame and Device. 2 of the handier players here for Astralis. Brolin's dodging all these shots coming through right now. Doesn't need to recommit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting here, you know, watching, because obviously, right, one of the things that we've talked about is how Device has been an essential piece of finding these round openers. The other guy who takes part in kind of these opening duels for the Astralis squad is blameF, but he approaches them different to, you know, I think to call him an entry is almost just entirely wrong. That's not at all what you think of when you think blameF, right? He's a little smarter in how he tries to do it. He likes to take, you know, what he considers to be good fights, and so you'll see him sometimes, you know, the kind of first minute of the round, not a lot will be happening. Blame will be trying to get himself situated to take that opening duel. And so it's going to be sick to see how he can rise to that challenge, because I do think it's going to be a little harder for Device's AWP to be pressing that issue, right? To be pressing that man advantage spot over towards outside, for example.
Like the farm. Leg on the second, the rifle's here though, and it's nice and easy for NIP. Brolin got 1D'd by Device from top main back to CT spawn. So
Not a bad shot.
Typical Device Deeg moment there, but not the end of the world. Nip will keep it clean otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, only the one Constellation kill isn't going to make too much of a damage, so that's all well and said. We'll take a look at it once again.
Oh, that's...
It's a Device moment. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Good to see Hedrick as well, pretty cool on the pressure. I think this has been one of the question marks about Hedrick. You know, mechanically, he's a very, very solid player. It's just, you know, when you're getting pressured by tier 1 players, you are going to start to falter and start to fall flat at times, and we've seen him really choke up in a lot of these high-pressure situations. Good there. Of course, yes, it's just pistols, but the precedence he's setting early in towards Nuke is really positive to see. He's coming with confidence, and I think a big part of that, of course, is having Config next to you. Very loud, very kind of, you know, energetic, I guess, which is kind of bolstering the team.
They're delaying behind the wall smokes here. They're pretending they've gone down secret, and while Config has earlier dropped into position, the rest of Astralis have yet to make a move from behind red. They're going to cross. Brolin has the perfect position for this. Astralis want the gunfights outside right now, and nothing's being given to them. Do they have a flash for this? No, it's very dry right now. They've got to clear this manually. Glaive going in for the frag. Brolin will survive, but he can't readjust for the second. That's a lot of real estate for Astralis. Glaive sacrificed for the greater good, but they've got Garage now as a result. Alexi tries to contain, and Config knows that with them not committing with the smokes, he has room. Device is not holding this play right now. Config will have him on a platter. Bomb dropped, won't overcommit, can trade contact with Alexi B, who's starting to make his move out hell as well. And this has all gone very weird for Astralis.
Alexi, I mean, what does he do here? Trying to reclaim a little bit of the space could be awkward. He doesn't want to overstep or overextend, but the bomb being dropped is everything that NIP need right now. Pixel peeking as well. Anyone crossing towards main going to get caught in the crossfires. It's not really looking for kills, it's just information, but especially if Zip's going to park up in the gap, he's going to make it work. Zip will fall, Alexi B, freest kill of his life.
15 seconds, they've got to go now. Rez stops them, and nowhere to go. Config flies up the vent. He's looking very oppressive in this game as Config, unrelenting with the aggression at the right times as well. These vent climbs for Nip have been claustrophobic, but they've been getting the job done. And I like that trade of contact for NIP. Alexi gets all the info with that first kill through the pixel gap and doesn't need any more. His team know exactly where the bomb is going as a result. Right now, things are looking very good for Nip on Astralis' map pick.
4 in a row from them as well, right? I think once again, the point we were bringing up earlier, the question marks about the core, like what is the strategy coming in towards that round? It falls flat. And the second they're forced into a mid-round call too, when the bomb gets dropped over towards Red Crate, they have no idea. They're all over the place. And NIP, all they have to do is just pump the brakes.
It's been some very slow and creeping rounds for Astralis. I hope they're able to show us some speedy AXEC in this half, something quick on ramp perhaps with the pistols here. Hedrick's been AWPing it mostly out of spawn, which is not always the case. You sometimes like to have your AWPer take those easy, quote-unquote, easy fights outside, but Astralis frequenting utility. They're going to go for the A-Rush.
Yeah, straight in, straight out through the hut. Good damage from Glaive, but Rez is going to trade that out still. This isn't contained yet. This one could still spill over. However, Brolin and Rez coming in together. Nice. They look to regain control over this. They put a stop to Device in that 1v3 attempt. And that's now 5 in a row for NIP.
That was a super light buy as well. They didn't have a lot behind that. A nade on door, a main smoke, and a couple of flashes is all they brought to the table, but they get 3 kills from it.
not bad.
You know, I think for NIP, this is relieving to see. I think they're going to have to do a lot of their legwork here on the CT half, and they're well in the right direction of doing that now. 5 consecutive rounds, but we do have that AWP for Device finally coming out. And for me, he's been kind of the most important piece of the puzzle for this Astralis squad. So let's see what he's going to try and do with this AW.
Hedrick's had a few moments where he stepped up to the plate, but he's mainly been playing over towards Ramp. This time, the big fight is going to be between those two. That's going to set an early precedence as well. AWP in play for both of these two sides. And who comes out on top of that early fight? Swinging through, big flash from Rez, and it allows Alexi the freest kill. Blamef to fall, and Ninjas in Pajamas, who are 5 in a row, on track for 6.
Yeah, and there's that deep molly there that trapped Blame, forced him to eat the flashbang. They go again into Garage. Brolin, that's an unorthodox angle, though. He wasn't holding the main cross, and so Glaive didn't expect it. Device with a missed shot. You're not going to get another chance. Alexi puts distance between himself and the AWPer, and Rez plays behind a smoke with a slight gap. He could see feet coming through. Rez on a headshot angle. I like my chances, but Zip nails the shot on the smoke fade. Molly on the vent, and Astralis have the B site for now.
Yeah, Alexi's moving down here over towards Ramp. The rest of his team, though, looking for a vent rotate. And right now, this is being held by Astralis. If these players try and vent drop and end up getting churned out by Buzz, and this is going to be a very, very tricky spot for NIP. That one kill out of Ramp might pull Buzz away from the vent angle, and that's going to allow the second man to sneak in. Head trick. Oh, no, that's only the tag. He will finish the job. Buzz gets out, and Brolin's going to find him. NIP with a convincing retake as they flood down towards lower. And I've got to say, you know, I feel like they came into today with a great understanding of kind of what the scary parts of an Astralis T-side are and where the limitations lie. I like that Hedrick has been leaning Ramp with the AWP. I think considering how essential Device has been in opening fights for Astralis so far, give him as little as possible. Give him as few of those fights outside as possible. Thus far, it's been passive holds over towards the back of Garage. That's kind of been the staple for NIP to open this up. That's going to make Device's life that much harder. He's not going to get given these outside fights. He's going to have to look elsewhere and roam a bit with that AWP. On top of that, you know, for Hedrick, that Ramp fight with the AWP is a very comfortable one. You know, you can get a couple of shots off before they close the gap. So I do like what we're seeing from NIP, and I think this is a very effective way of kind of limiting the damage Astralis can do in the early round. And
on that note, I think it's extremely important the config dies for Hedrick. They're going down vent first because of where Hedrick's been playing. As soon as Buzz gets that vent kill late, he turns around and Device runs past vent as well. They don't expect the AWPer to come vent late. He doesn't drop. He sneaks down the ladder. He knows he won't be expected, and yeah, it looks a bit scary as he legs Device, but finishes the kill, and a very important one to stop that AWP at the post plant. Nip in full control right now, 6-2. Another wall for Astralis, a wider one, but Brolin's been opting for these outside smoke spams. The 1A, 1S looking for that free damage. He won't find it yet. Config takes an early path towards B again, and he has been keen down the vent in this game. Astralis flash into main, but of course, as you said, Brolin back Garage every single time. Rez catches Blame, who gets through the door, trading positions in the smoke, and it's a bit of a mauling right now. Device very low, and this ramp push is coming.
It's comfortable Counter-Strike coming through from Nip. Hedrick, aggressive, I like it. He's been parked up in towards back ramp. This time takes initiative. Device to fall, he's Buzz, the youngster, the new boy, all alone, and he gets deleted by Config. It's such a solid round. Comfortable Counter-Strike being played by Nip right now. That's 7 in a row from them on the CT side, and things that were looking initially pretty good over towards Astralis, now really in a rough spot. And they've called 2 timeouts already, and still the core problems for Astralis haven't been fixed. Yeah. The second their initial plan fails, mid-rounding, they're all over the place. You can see them space out, very, very dejected in terms of what the plan is being brought in towards the round. And I mean, Nip, they're just playing very fundamental Counter-Strike right now. Waiting, crossfires, is working.
Yeah, Brolin's reposition was great as well. He spams from close main through the smoke, but then he immediately again goes back Garage, and Glaive was never ready for it. Glaive is getting bullied by Brolin right now in the yard. Another round where he finds that pick. They will make it down, but Brolin's going to hear these footsteps running amok into B. Alexi trying to get posted. Hedrick needs to be careful because this ramp lurk is in play. Did he see him? I don't think he did. Blame looked like he was on his screen, and Blame's found a perfect timing. He's telling his team to wait. Here's another rotation. Can he just get behind cover? He could not. And Config with that crucial kill leaves Astralis in the mud.
That is a real feel-good moment for Config as well. He knows Blame F. He knows how he likes to play. He knows he likes to go for these kind of big plays being made on little gaps and timings being found. And when Config shuts that down in such a decisive manner, right, you know the damage that Blame F could have done from that position, but you just beat him on the timing. And so I think that's going to do wonders for Config. Astralis now 2 players down in this low buy kind of investment. They only have a collection of pistols left between them in this round, falling in favor of NIP.
This is dead in the water.
Yeah.
Upvent, ironically, is their best decision, but yeah, they're going to get mauled if they go.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a wild call to make, right? Like, no one wants to dive up the vent with no A control, so you're kind of hamstrung into the B play. Ooh. You've got to commit here. The Device Eagle, it's always good for something, it feels like.
Wallbang him.
1 kill from it. He wants to try his hand at this round still. Device wrapping all the way around, looking for another fight with this Deagle, and he knows he's got a man low in the site, but backstab through Secret. That's the safety net on this round. Headtrick's gonna nail that shot, and Zip left in the 1v3, goes hunting for this AWP at ramp, but Headtrick's not missing a beat. Nip continue to rack up successes here, and man, I really just can't move past the fact, you know, that it feels like they're kind of perfectly countering the few strengths that Astralis have to rely upon, to depend upon across this game. They've come into this with a very good game plan on the side of NIP. You know, I keep mentioning this Device kind of open and kill look. I just think it's an interesting fact that the Astralis game plan centers so much around what their AWP can provide.
We've not really seen it. We've not seen an AWP on the T side for Device. And
yeah, I mean, the time that he's had it, right? Like, you kind of think about the round that he got to have. He went outside, no one was there. Brolin was playing back garage.
Shot, he missed it.
Yeah, exactly. He had one opportunity to kind of get a shot off with the AWP, and that was the extent of it.
They're doing an A hit now. And this might actually be the perfect time to do it because there's still a double ramp in play. Brolin's been frequent outside. It's only Rez and Config. Config this time dedicated to A, behind CT vent. Rez is going to get molly, but he won't be worried. He just repositions after the fact. They're going to go for the double pump, a reassessment for Astralis. In comes the util again. Config quickly comes back up the vent. They're here in time.
Resin in for a rough spot here. Full blind, there's no idea. Into his backside, trying to find a fight. There's always going to be so janky. But Brolin and Alexi combining. And in doing so, it leaves Blame F all alone. Bomb in hand, 1 versus 3, and he's been spotted 2. Once again, ninjas in pajamas, ready for whatever Astralis throw them. They're throwing the whole kitchen sink, and nothing sticking. I think one man who's been so consistent, of course, he's doing well in terms of the fragging department, but Brolin, individually, he's been a menace. They're going for a quick A hit, but they're leaving one outside to wrap through main, and even still, everything they're trying to do towards outside has been shut down by him individually.
Yeah, Brolin's 5-0 in opening fights as well. Wow. Just so many of them coming off of, you know, Glaive, to be honest, getting picks, doing silo drops, running yard, going for these smoke plays. He's been spamming them. A very annoying player to play up against right now, and this tandem between Brolin and Config, the communication has been very good. Config's not been caught out on any lower rotations. It's been looking very nice for Nip. Solid A-hold. Alexi, who was double ramp with head trick, gets there just in time off of the second recommit of utility. And Astralis, they've got to be running out of ideas right now.
I've got to say as well, I know they've already burned 2 time-outs, but Astralis, they've got to use another one. This is 9 consecutive rounds from Ninjas in Pajamas, and we're already going to start getting to the place of too little, too late. I mean, if they can't do anything to stop this CT side, there's no way they're going to make it back themselves.
Keep in mind, Astralis do not have a tactical coach behind them, right? With their situation, all it's going to do is give them a little bit more time to think, and that goes both ways. Nip can use that time. Sure, they're flowing like butter right now, but you know, this is an example of a time where Astralis would love a tactical coach behind him.
Brolin, another opening kill for him as well. That's 6 now. This man in a different position, down towards Secret. It's where he's going to park up. It looks like they want to pop over towards B, and Brolin and Alexi going to combine.
Cheeky little door off here for Alexi. When I see this, I always wonder if it's like some mega strat and you've got to line up, you've done it on purpose. In theory, that could work. Alexi's spotting. He's also fairly safe with his door cover. This is a weird round with the crossfire. They swing one side open, but they're baited into Brolin. That's a nice shot. Device is Deagle. The one consistency of this T side right now for Astralis. But is it going to be enough? It certainly doesn't look like it. They just run them down. Nip up to double digits on the CT side. Astralis in the mud still. I need a device AWP on a default going for an opening kill. That's the only thing right now that we haven't seen.
This is the beautiful part, though, and this is why I think NIP are even in this position. Like, Device can't get opening kills if you don't give him the opening fight, right? And they've been very, very good at not doing that. We're deep in the game now, and Device has had one opportunity at an opening duel, and he ended up losing it. That was earlier on with an AK as well. That wasn't even with the AWP. You know, I mean, it's not uncommon to see like some opponents move away from the AWP on Nuke for this T-side, but yeah, you know, they're just not really giving you this kind of leverage that you need in the early round. It feels a little brutal here.
I mean, he could have got one in this round. He would have been lacking head armor and utility, but yeah.
Oh,
that's close. They saw the bomb. That's on the map right now. They know the bomb is going lower, and that's huge info for NIP. And Astralis, yeah, when they've been, you know, called, when their bluff has been called on these lower takes and they've gone back up, it's not done them too well either. There's a double lower control again for NIP. They just ran the same setup. A little bait and switch, a little crossfire. And Astralis looking for this pick. The boost could be the way in, but Alexi's jumping. It's not an easy kill to offer. Is Device ready? What on earth is that shot for Alexi? Looked like you couldn't see him on Device's side.
We saw this yesterday as well, right? At times where no one was stepping up, Alexi will make a difference. He's on for two, looking for more. Alexi's just been a menace down here over towards double doors, and things get worse and worse for Astralis. 11 looming, and Headtrick trying to go through at the perfect time. Zip caught blindsided, and leaves Boz and Blame F in what seems like an impossible 2 versus 5.
Yeah, they're out upper, but they haven't even got that bomb yet. And Blame is so low thanks to the nade. Buzz does reposition, but he's got to take a 1v2, and they face together. Blame falls at the same time, and Nip looking ludicrous right now on the CT side. You said Astralis needed 6. Well, they can't even get that at this point. And even though I've had problems with, and NIP have certainly had problems with their T-sides in recent times, you saw it as much on Pro League as well. I think with them playing like this, a lot of those worries go out the window. Even if it ends 11-4, they are only moments away from taking Astralis' map pick.
This is an orchestrated pick coming through from NIP as well. You know, they can. I feel like they've got an expectation that Astralis is going towards this map. It's Astralis' pick, but the way in which Nibble set this up, it looks like they've got a very good idea about how this veto was going to pan out. It's a map in which, for a long time, was traditionally one of the bans of NIP. They didn't like playing this map at all because they couldn't really compete against well-orchestrated teams. But now, my God, they are playing some cracking Counter-Strike. And I think, once again as well, while Ninja Pyjama's playing really well, some of the individuals stepping up. Alexi B's having a mirrored game of what he had against Eternal Fire yesterday. He dropped 28 kills against Eternal Fire yesterday. He was farming in the server. And even seeing, you know, individuals like Headtrick come alive, having his moments. But this is still the onus on Astralis. This is just not a good play from them right now. Not good calls coming through, and they're being punished for it.
I mean, every round has been the same thing for Astralis, throwing the same wall of smokes, getting to secret, and then getting lost in the source. And Nip have continued to make that read, have double rotates down lower, Brolin back garage. Headtrick's not really been required in this game, but he's not missed any of the shots he's been given. And so it's hard to see a way in for Astralis. They have to get this kill, and it can't be costly on Alexi. They need a clean 1-for-1 at worst case, and Alexi has proven to be a problem piece for Astralis. Good timing on the smoke, playing from the other side this time, but he's been playing ahead of their utility. Very audacious stuff for Alexi, and Astralis just get lost. So what's their solution here? Blame again lurking lobby. They make it down B without any casualties, but something needs to change here for Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, as to whether or not Blame's super successful on his lurk really does hinge on how the guys down lower do, right? And if you end up trading here 1-for-1, Alexi will end up being pretty happy with that. So there's a device opener. These are often the prerequisites to rounds for Astralis. Device provides that opener, and now that allows Blame F to try get involved and cut down some of these rotates, but he falls, getting nothing done. Very awkward fight on the player dropping down vent.
Ooh, Rez is going to take a lot of time to get to this position as well. He's walking the whole way to allow his ramp rotates to also sneak in. Rez will have a 1v1 that he doesn't know about with Zip hiding in the vent. The timing game is everything here. The bomb's half ticked. Nip have got to go.
This is rough. Brolin swinging in. Will not clear radio at all. Zip and Device go on a piece, and Device will double it down. It's a good round from him individually. 3 kills to his name. It still just doesn't feel enough over towards Astralis. A little bit of a lucky one in terms of how their opening duels go. Caught blindside and not looking the right way. NIP maybe slightly not expecting the pace to come through off the back of the smoke dissipating. But They've still done enough in my eyes already on the CT side that I shouldn't be all too worried. Headtrick re-peeking in here for a second crack at the attempt, maybe costing him out. I would have liked to have seen him pump the brakes a little bit, wait for the rotating players come over from A, and then go for 3 players attacking from Ram. Then it could have been a different story, but all if buts and maybe.
Oh my goodness, Blame's running out hot. Blame got spotted, and Rez is ready to give the results. Topic trading out, and this is an ugly round again for Astralis as Glaive kills his teammate to take down Brolin. Alexi waiting for a footstep. The second he gets it, he can swing through the smoke and punish Glaive, although that might cool you off. Ice getting one, and Alexi through that smoke catches Glaive resetting by scopes. Alexi knows, and he can just tuck in this corner and wait for Device to walk in, but it's all very quick, however not quick enough. 12-3, NIP with an absolute dominant game right now. We'll have to see if Astralis have anything to show in their map pick of Nuke in a moment.
I think it has to be last 4 finals, I think. That's 4 finals in 2021 in Copenhagen, in Arena, with the last dance of the French team. That was like so fun to play. Just we did the final against Navi. We had a lot of fun moments playing against Astralis just before in semi-final. Like just, I said that a lot, like just making quiet the crowd.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun, to be honest. I just had a really good moment back in the day when the French team stopped at some point, and we had that World Final in Copenhagen. I remember I didn't want to cry, but it came out without like asking. It's still emotional for me to talk about that because that was a really good moment with the French the team, and most likely with Xtaz we had like a really good like chemistry together, and we did a lot of things, good things together. So, but yeah, it's a good memory.
Looking for this opening pick, but it's Antares to be able to find it. Latic trades on out to this M4A1S instead of the AWP that he started the round with, finds the opener. Gonna be looking for 2 more here as well. Knows the information, knows there's one over towards Tetris, finds him more in the process. Only 2 flashes remaining now. If he had a smoke, it'd be much more convincing. Xantares, angle advantage. Oh, but it doesn't actually convert the kill as of yet, and it got a little bit too close for comfort there, but Eternal Fire are gonna be able to close out the half. 8-7. Let's see if they can come back in the second.
Astralis might have won the pistol, they might have won one of the 2 conversions, but other than that, they only took 1 rifle round in that T-side, leaving them with just 3 rounds moving into the second half of Nuke here. NIP lead the way on Astralis's map pick. They've run away with this first half, right? They went on a huge 11-round streak in the middle there. They even pick up the final round in round 15. This is so teed up for an NIP win. It's kind of wild how quickly this one went the other way. Astralis on the back foot. not able to stick the landing on any promises in that first half of play.
I still want Nip to win this pistol. I think they need to win the pistol because they've just had such trouble on T-sides as of late. But yeah, the game we're getting out of some of the individuals right now has been monstrous.
Yeah, the thing I think that makes me worry about that a lot less than normal is we're getting a good game from some of the guys who play towards the front of the pack, Brolin being one of them. This guy's been a monster in opening fights across this map so far, undefeated. That's 7-0 for Brolin as he picks up this first kill in the pistol. And this is something Nip have that Astralis just didn't, is that opening power. They find a way into this round for the 4v4 at least. Astralis still in with a chance to retake. They've got one flash on Glaive that he's going to lob through the heavens to try and tee up the rest of his team.
Yeah, Kit as well. So this is by design for Astralis to give up the A site. 4-on-4 is not bad odds. They come before the flash, so Config caught blind. Blame falls in. They're going to be able to trade out and get on that bomb. Device fakes it, but it's Glaive with the Kit who needs to drop out of heavens. He's using his position of power, and they are fighting downwards. Astralis find that pistol round. All the glory.
And finally, I think we can probably say probably the only rounds I've always seen from Astralis where it actually goes to plan, where what they are bringing in towards that round, and especially the mid-round as well, works wonders. This has been the big thing for Astralis. We saw it towards their T-side. The second someone would die, their mid-round calls looked very dire. They looked a little bit discombobulated, a little bit kind of jaded and sort of what they should do coming in towards the middling and end part of these rounds. Much better. Great call coming through. Glaive on the flash. Retake comes in. It works wonders. They know as well that they've got time to work with.
Astralis cannot relax, though. They cannot relax because Nip have come in with a second round buy, as you would expect off of a bomb plant. That being said, a bomb plant, but not a single Galil in round 2. Nip have a lot of utility. This is not normal, and so they definitely want to run some sort of execute on the A site. 1-10.
Prioritizing utility, it's risky, right? Just because that M4A1S can shred you, but let's see. It's looking towards A as well.
Yeah, there's the util coming out. Glaive realizes exactly what's in store. Mollied out is Buzz, got a jump. He has taken a bit of a beating. Yeah, is this a second recommit? Right, it was a lot of util. They're going to throw it all over again. Run it back.
Dude, having enough to double pump the site hit like this is huge for NIP. They've got the limited util out of Astralis. And so they're allowed to run into a site where Astralis just don't have that ability to slow it down. They find the 4v2, and really you should just be looking to save these two M4s at this point. This round's already too far gone. I actually really love this idea from NIP, knowing that, you know, CT first rifle rounds do come with a fair share of limitations. They buy up enough util to lob in that first, you know, look of an exec. It gives the illusion of one. And once you hear that util coming out from the CTs, NIP are rubbing their hands together. They're thinking like, oh, Astralis don't realize it yet, but they messed up.
That's a really good call because it's just so anti-meta, because Astralis are not expecting a second wave. There's no way they are. They think that utils are fake. They're probably watching ramp at that point. They climb back on hut roof as well, get re-mollied twice over.
A lot of teams after this, you know, you kind of look to try and bring out Galils and the likes, right? So this round normally is like very strapped for utility at best. You have enough util to throw in 1A exec, and if you get caught by the defensive utility that comes out in response, normally you're just kind of like pop flashing and praying that you can find something.
That's a perfect round to make that call on this map and site specifically, because it's a site that is a domino, right? Like you get that first entry on an A rush. It doesn't matter what guns you have. The post plants are so easy to lock down. They can be, at least, and a Nip trade in their favor before the bomb's even planted. So that's a really cool idea from Alexa B, and Nip are set up perfectly now.
Defo deserve credit for the game plan that they've come into this game with. You know, I think there's a reason why Astralis are made to look a little silly in this one, and I think it's because Nip have just counted them every single step of the way. You know, that unorthodox second round, the idea behind it is so beautiful, and it works out exactly like they expected. That's a real feel-good moment as well for Alexi, I think, because you make a call like that, you kind of know what you're trying to do, and it all just goes so according to plan. Device with this A1S trying to get stuck in. He has been the one dependable piece. He answers the call with a double, but the response is immediate. Zip dies over towards the stairs, and that's the lower plant wide open now for NIP.
Great realization for Config. No hesitation on that quick bomb plant. He didn't even get the reload off. That M4 was out of ammo. Glaive will still find him on a quick backstab. He went down the vent and flanked single door, but there's still a flank on a flank E. Astralis don't know there's a player coming in from above. Sneaking down now is Brolin. Hedrick just needs to buy time. Needs this kill. He can't find it. Brolin now. The door's already open though, but they are sticking 10 seconds on the bomb. When will he reveal it? They've spotted him. Oh, he catches just ahead. And now Brolin shuts the door in their face. They have no kit. A second stick. Brolin needs his first kill, and Blaine will deny it. They should just... Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. No, maybe not.
I literally don't think they got it. Oh, my God, they don't. Just shy of a second. And it all comes down to the MP9. The head poking out just from round silo. Fine margins is rookie mistakes that are creeping in and continuing to creep in.
That's why you shut the door behind you, Glaive.
Of course.
Bad manners, and they lose you the round.
Oh,
After Device's efforts as well.
It started so well, and fine margins. Oh, 0.76 seconds. And you can see as well, just smiles on the faces. And it's really good to see NIP happy as well. We've seen so far in this tournament, they've not looked really the most pleased with the performance. Even when they won against 10-5, it was still more of a sigh of relief more than anything. Brolin, up close personal, and the wrenchy kill to his impressive tally already. Zip to fall, and this middling buy over towards Aurora is starting to falter pretty quickly.
That flick away was very quick. He had almost no time to react to that flashbang, but Brolin not blind. Puts Nip up in a 5v4. And like, think about it for a second. Like, did you have a single round like this in Astralis' T-side where they were still in their very early default and they had a 5-on-4 untraded? And now, like, these are such constricting rounds on CT Nuke where you have to spread very thin anyway and make concessions. Astralis kind of have to gamble. They've lent double ramp, double A. It's going to give Nip full lower control. If Nip, for example, walk down secret, they just win the round.
Yeah.
So Astralis, yeah, they're going to make a play. It's not a bad call. Glaive going into the lobby, trying to clear things out. There is a player all the way at the back, but Brolin even now has decided to reset. And this is a grimy position to die from, without a doubt. 40 seconds for Astralis. They know it's an outside play. They can read it's going to be a B drop. And so at this point, the realization is kicking in. I think we've lost this round.
Could get interesting in this fight, right? Yeah. Not ready for Blame F there. And that's going to bring you back into a 4v4. Worth him going down a lower to at least try and contest for the ground here.
Look how late Brolin is, though.
Yeah, the late lurk is nice. Although, you know, it is a world where it doesn't carry a lot of impact. Like, if Blame F just multi-kills here, Brolin's never even going to be involved. So, Blame F hiding out. If he stops this plant, could look to win the round, but takes too long to make up his mind. Glaive and Device with the replies, but it is just Device left standing. 1v2. Best man for the job, the one you'd want, and he's led the charge onto Hedrick, but now he's low, he's wounded. And Alexi gonna put him in a casket. 15 for NIP. Map point here on Astralis' map pick, and it's crazy dominant. Nip have come into this with a head screwed on, with a game plan, with a team that is hyping each other up. Config always yelling down the line, really trying to keep the boys in this one. And, you know, I do just think that the huge difference maker here, right, is that Nip, firstly, aren't afraid to take risks. I know that comes with the territory of such a big lead, but my God, they've been taking risks since like round 3, for crying out loud. So, you know, that's one thing. And then they also have like actual opening power in these rounds. They have the ability to open up. Brolin undefeated in opening duels at 9-0. He's won more than double of the opening fights than Astralis have. They currently have what? Oh, no, actually, I'm lying to you there. They have 5. He's nearly got double the opening kills of the entire roster.
Don't care, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, does it? 15-4, and this is Nip when their riflers are playing well, and we don't always get this Nip, so let's enjoy it while we have it.
I mean, right now, you look over towards Nip, once again, they've got so much time to work with. 1 minute, you know, overall. I think for Astralis, the onus on them to make a difference. FAMAS, MP9 and a Scout to alleviate some of the pressure. And look at the util too. 1 decoy. It's all they're relying on. Zip's going to hit some shots, and we haven't really seen all too much of it in this game. It has been a quiet one, and it continues. Buzz 6 feet under, and I think that's the story for Astralis, because 16-14 is looming.
16-14. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near that close, but take a one away, and maybe it's just that loss. Astralis getting picked apart. It's only Device. He's had a fantastic game, but unfortunately, it does not matter. They don't even give him a chance. Why let the star shine? 20 seconds, they drop down B, and Device is left wandering, left lacking. What a shame to see a legend like this having no support in this map, it's felt like. Drops into the Molotov, and Brolin will end it. 16-4 on Astralis' map pick. A sick start to the series and the day for NIP. They look to eliminate the Danes here in Copenhagen.
Oh, but they're not here. They've all but they're not here. They've all exited together. They've gone for the far safer option, clearing towards the back of B, assuming that he's going to be saving over there.
Love the commitment to just this Zeus. It's like every angle, okay, I'm going to pull this out instead. Just come on, peek me, please, please. To give you guys an update on the other game going on right now as well, that being NIP versus Astralis. The first map, Astralis' map pick of Nuke, goes the way of NIP 16-4, Jackie.
And remember, if you missed any of that, go and check it back out on blast.tv. You can use those replay functions and you can catch the best of the action that would have been going down on what sounds like a spicy matchup.
Yeah, certainly not what you would expect from a squad who had a pretty damn long streak on that map. Of course, plenty of changes have happened since that time. Aurora taking a breather here as they want to just crunch the numbers, work out what the best play is on this T-side. They've got plenty of money to work with. Wonder if Kenzie's going to trade out from the FAMAS. I actually don't think there's a reason to do it.
Interesting as well, in terms of the opening duels that we've been seeing go down, Mage is the only player that's actually got a bit more oomph on the server. He's 3-6 in opening duels at the minute. Otherwise, most of the players on Eternal Fire losing out in those 1-for-1s in the opening moments of the game. For Aurora, it's the complete opposite. Latic is yet to lose out on an opening duel. Kenzie 4-for-4 as well. So the numbers slightly in their favor, but we'll focus back in on what's going on our screens. Major with one AWP, Irmor with the other. So 2 AWPs pulled out for the CT side. It usually is the crutch that can fix a bit of a sloppy CT side if it feels like things are going wrong early. Will it pay off? Here on the 20th already, pressure applied. They're going for the faster pace. They want to bombard their way into the site. Irmor hit on the head is Celtar. He slipped on by them. Calix was trapped as well. This looks like it could be over already with the amount of impact they found in the first few seconds.
Yeah, I don't think Eternal Fire even think about going for this one. Zenteris might go for the swing just to be able to see if we can chip a couple of points of damage away, but on the angle is going to be Latic, ready and waiting for this one. They are going to be going for the swing. Flash comes in, but Norway not going to be affected by it. Takes one down. Molotov is going to be able to take him down after finding that trade onto xCloud, but that's all she wrote. Major, with secondary AWP in this round, yet to have an impact as no one's tried to challenge him. Does spot out one in the former Celta, and I wonder if that now gets the cogs ticking for Aurora. Guys, there's another AWP in this round. Let's hunt it down. That's exactly what we see. Off angle being held from Norway.
That's such a rough round to lose as well. The amount of money invested into it to fund the double AWP setup. Hoping that would be the band-aid fix into a round like this. Instead, it was removed from the hands of Major at the end as they find him saving back at B.
You know what I am going to miss about CSGO, Jackie?
Go on, mate.
The ragdolls.
Oh,
the way the ragdolls fall are so iconic. And now we're going to get new ragdolls instead.
They still do it, to be fair.
What,
like when they do backflips and go flying off into the universe. Yeah, that still happens.
See, I wouldn't know. I don't have CS2 access. Valve, if you're listening to this, please send me CS2 access.
No, it's all right. You can come to my hotel room. It'll be cute. Like, I'll do the mouse, you do the keyboard.
Oh, that does sound cute.
I can show you CS2. It'll be fun. Don't worry about it.
CS2 date. Sounds good.
Yeah. It'll be a good time. Just like this matchup we've got on the line. So 10-10. But obviously not level pegging when it comes to the buy. As the arsenal of Eternal Fire is basically just pistols. 3 Deagles, P250 and the USP.
We saw Deagles work out well earlier on. It was, of course, Aurora who were able to find success with it, but Lightning can indeed strike twice. Not usually in the same place, but relatively close locations from time to time. Lackey Going to be looking for this pick. He's made a lot of noise here. He does not care who finds him and swings him. I think it's more of a bait just to be able to say, hey, by the way, there's someone over here. Draw your attention. Hello. Zelta going to be looking for a pick, but instead it is going to be Lackey who goes for the openers over towards this B bomb site. The Terrace and Xcloud, they find the opening 2 picks on the Deagles once again. This is exactly what we saw from Aurora, where they found the opening picks over on that B bomb site with the Deags, and then it all fell apart for Eternal Fire. This time round, though, it's working out in their favor. AWP recovered and an AK in a 4 versus 2. This is doable.
Yeah, you've gone from having nothing into the round to having all of the pieces of the puzzle that you would want on your side of the table. But to turn this round into a reality and not a fable, you've got to do it quickly. Time is ticking. Kenzie in advanced position as well, looking for them to push out. Calix, does he read this? Has the contact, works off the back of it, swings in. All about the trades now as it's just Celta that's left. Utility pulled out but couldn't dash it in time. They jump on a bomb with a full 10-second defuse. This is going to be really tight.
They're fist bumping. They think they know, and I think they're right. It got a little bit close there, but the timing was perfect from Eternal Fire. And we were talking about the fact that realistically, no, they shouldn't have had a chance in this round, but being able to find that, and then the second one as well, that you're just about to see on your screen from Xcloud, that opens the doors up massively.
I think at this point, between these two teams, when we see a deco, we do just have to assume the upset round is coming, because that's what we've seen both times now. All of them so proficient with the pistols. Great round to win for Eternal Fire, for the confidence as well to build you back in, and because of how much money they invested going for the double AWP setup, you're thinking it could be quite some time before we see Aurora again being able to do what he does best, or have Major on that double AWP setup. Instead here, you get one for free, bring that over, build the economy back up, have a few AKs in play as well. Suddenly you get a bit more confidence. You're feeling yourself on those angles, knowing you can just hit the one tap.
That might have been why Eternal Fire took a time out there as well. It's just that, oh, great guys who won that round, but let's just temper our expectations. We've been able to save quite a bit in this. We've got an AWP, we've got the AK. Let's see what we can actually make stick here, because we're 1 round up, but we know our opponent is still going to have a bye and still be competitive.
And I love this. They give the AK to the big man, right? Xantares on the AK-47, the Kalashnikov killer that will leave you feeling iller if you walk towards his bomb site.
Bars.
We'll see if he can drop some big bars. What's he got in store for us? The A site again, under attack. They want to walk on in, but Calix is having none of that. Strikes against Lackey and leaves him lifeless. Already Aurora in the 4 versus 5.
Centaurus with the swing. Oh, hello. How you doing, guys? Everything good? There we go. We're back in the round. Don't worry about that. We just had to check in with the team to see what was going on. It looks like Amore's going to be able to bring this round a little bit more under control, though, as we have Norway and Zelta now down in a 2 versus 4 sitch. I mean, it looks like they're probably just going to be looking for exits here. Zelta potentially backing up his teammate inside of mid. We do see some lurks coming on through from Eternal Fire. With the bomb inside of mid, not actually being covered by any of the CTs. They could recover and get onto one of these bomb sites. The plant will be quite important, but there is still going to be a buy in this next round for Aurora. If they want it, it's not going to be as fortuitous as they would like, though. Probably like Galil's on a couple.
The only angle of opportunity you've got here really is if you can isolate Major and take him down without him finding a frag into the round, because then you've got to wait for the flank from Calix, but he's already believing this is going to be the A play. He's focused his attention back, actually still debating this, but Major with the pressure applied, needs to survive, falls after the 1-for-1, and it's all on Celta. 8 seconds, has to commit to the plant, tries to bait them in with a tap, but you've really sold yourself in here. No time, no chance, overwhelmed on a peak as Calix cleans up.
Yeah, really nice from Eternal Fire here. Great presence of mind to hold on to what they had, and well, that's a lovely little shot from Amor inside of mid as well. Quite interesting that they didn't just decide to hold on to the bomb there and instead allowed their opponents to force the issue. Kind of let them come to us and it's like, sure, if you're going to push us, we're just going to win your fights either way. You're completely right about the Major call. The fact that he finds that trade there and it's not then a 2 versus 3, I believe the situation would have been in, then the round's over and done with. The 1v3 is simply not going to be enough. 10 rounds on the board for Aurora, but 12 for Eternal Fire. We're going to be seeing another execute over towards this A site. Smokes, flashes, mollies galore, you name it, everyone's here, but legged onto Norway. He hobbles onto the site as Calix is blind, going to be able to find the final bullets that take him out of the round.
Uh-oh, Xantares on a disgusting Kurt angle. This is why this man is at his best. Can't hit the first shot though. Xcloud will do that footwork for him as he hits the head of Latic through the smoke and gives you a 4 versus 3 on the retake. Immor constantly forcing the issue, keeping the pressure applied. Kenzie, he crumbles under it. Falls to Major. Oh, Lucky though. Backed up by Celta, puts it in a 1 versus 3. Had the timing on the peak as well. Wanted to hit the shot on Immor, but he will not allow that to happen. And that's a 13th round for Eternal Fire. They are burning bright here on the CT side of Mirage.
It was a really nice execute. The fact that Calyx is going to be able to find that kill while blind. The AKs they took through did so much work. Kind of force bite up there from Aurora. They're able to recover it into this 3v3 situation with 3 AKs on the side of that T-side. And yeah, it was just came down to individual performances. Immor swinging on out, and while he's super, super low, he could have been blown over by a strong gust of wind, but instead does come out on top. Going to be looking for this early peak is Latic, and Immor there to be able to, well, he was for a few moments, back him up, but instead now Xantares looking for the aggressive swing inside of mid. Immor as well, but traded straight back. Latic with a good read there.
And Latic, I believe now that's him 4-0 in opening duels. So again, the consistency being the difference maker for Aurora. Oh, the underpass assault though.
This should be good from Xantares.
Yeah.
It's the angle he plays, he knows the timing on it, but wow! The shot there from Kenzie just stops him in his tracks before he can even get started. The coal was barely in the engine, the fire did not begin to burn, and now in a 3 versus 5, the CTs really need to find just a couple of clean frags here, and it's going to be on Calyx's shoulders to be able to do it over on this A bomb site. Limited utility from him, only that nade, but the rotates that are going to be coming on round from the CT side, all the way from the B bomb site, are going to be helping out. Takes down 1, the trade straight away. Xcloud not able to have a say in this round. Going to get spotted out from range, does tap down 1 is Major, but now with a molly and a smoke, nothing else to play with. Doubt he's going to be able to even survive this round, let alone find anything else. Yeah, sideline there by Lackey off the long rotate towards that B bomb site.
Okay. Another round for Aurora then.
It's nice from Lackey.
Back of the man that's been creating all the space for him, right? It feels like he can do no wrong in these opening moments, and then goes on to even find more impacts. Latic on the AWP. Really a key to victory for this Aurora squad. Eternal Fire, it feels like they've been in this position so many times. Just the pistols. CZ for Major as well. All right.
I'm here for it.
I see you, King. Pop off.
Neo hates this gun, but it's actually seen quite a bit of success throughout the RMR. I mean, finding some of these random kills. Vertigo, we've seen it work out pretty well. Let's see what it's going to be able to do on Mirage, where some of the angles aren't as close quarters until you get on the bomb sites. Immor with the AWP here, though. Looking to be a defining factor for Eternal Fire. Waiting for the swing of Kenzie. No util to back him up right now, with the exception of that flash from Calyx, but it's not going to be required. He is going to be able to take 1 down, bring that man advantage underneath their control, and of course a weapon which could be recovered if they want to go hunting.
And importantly as well, it's the fact he gets out, right? He can now reposition and bolster the defense. This probably is the one angle to CZ actually wins out on. Oh, he didn't tap it. Major with a spray, wanted to cut through him, but he had a butter knife and it was not warmed up. Celta on 4 HP. And this is a 4v4 to remember. Immor with his timing, he's able to jump up on top of the ticket boost. You could see the shakes. Hits the shot onto Lackey. And still so much more to find. He is in a pressure cooker. And it's again another frag for Latic.
Interesting that they see that one player pushed up over towards the stairs on A site, and that instantly isn't the call for the rotate over towards that site itself. It's quite laboured, they wait for the bomb to be planted, and then they push on their rotate. I mean, you've got some low HP players here in the form of Celta, and there might have been another leg coming on in as well. Latic getting punished there. The fact they aren't swinging to be able to retaliate is pretty crazy. Xantares with the 1 dig onto Norway, and onto Latic as well.
He's 4
now
HP,
in
Cody.
this 1 versus 2, he's 4 HP, but the util available is going to be great from Celta. If he can get this Molotov down, it might work out wonders. Tapping the bomb, holding the bomb, sticking it. Pros don't fake. Molly goes on, but is he going to be able to take him
HG
down
as
to
well.
HG? It does take him out of the round with 1.9 seconds remaining. Eternal Fire. Oh, they squander the round. One kit. That's all it would have taken, Jackie.
Man, the utility play there, though, is brilliant. That's exactly what you want to do in that situation, right? The Molotov first, then the HE. Even when he dies, it's still a martyrdom of madness that keeps Aurora in the game and keeps this scoreline getting closer and closer. Xantares, he went full animal mode. The man was crouching low, strikes like an animal in beast mode with a deagle for the 2 frags, but it was not enough.
And blame too yesterday on that map, but we may never get there if it's anything like Nuke. Nip did not let Astralis in. And even look at this pistol round. You know Alexi's done his prep. Nip heading towards B. Buzz is very passive. Looking to bully the new boy.
Yeah, he is going to be tested here. They might even go for a split here, but this would bounce back against them. There's a big gamble stack coming through from Astralis in towards mid. A lot of util being dropped over towards that B site. And Config, he's going to take the first fight. Head tucked for Zip. Glaive on the angle. Blame F round the corner. Julie pulled out, and it's in for the first. Looking for more as well. Hedrick going to hightail it, and he'll be chased. Blame F, a double to open things up, but the bomb will go down.
Roland squeezes that kill out. He's going to go back for more. Over the top of the smoke, and he finds a second. Blame caught out. Panic firing. There's a quick flank for Device. It's getting hurt, though. Oh, what? How? He wasn't even looking. That's a despicable shot. Glaive in a 1v2 now. Poised by Device, but Brolin has the gun for the job. Glaive needs an instant kill, and it's not going to happen. I want to see that Device shot again. That was despicable, but it still does not matter. Nip with a pistol round, despite that mid-stack.
Everything looked good for them as well in terms of how Astralis was setting up. It was the right call. They know there's going to be a split on towards the side. It's a question of is A or B. That shot from Device is absolutely disgusting. So quick from him. But how have Astralis lost that round? I mean, for NIP, getting the bomb down, even that seemed like a massive win in what was going to be a lost round. And somehow they flipped the script and turned it in their favor. Another pistol round going the way of NIP, and look at the buy over towards Astralis. Just a couple of deagles to work with.
I'm very worried for Astralis. Just the fact that Nip did that double nade on Tetris and Pistol shows you that they've been, you know, they've been doing their prep, they've been doing their homework, so they're ready for some things here from Astralis. How much, though? Device, you know, death, taxes, and Device hitting 1 deags. He will find a kill. But Nip is still going to run and execute, and the pistols will be made useless here. Buzz grabs like a lil. He's a far shot away. And if Nip fake the bomb, they'll be assured in this round, but they've got the players close to stick it. Nothing can stop this. Even a boost up for Hedrick as well. So this is Nip going 2-0 up. Buzz saving the Galil. And Astralis giving it another go.
Man down in this one, though, and long way away. It is just going to be the save. You know, the one cool thing is you can try and like swing ramp late, try to keep them trapped in up on the top of the ledge, but the fact that Blame F gets dinked immediately, I think has put them off that idea. Looked to be the game plan there. Try and do some economic damage right in at the end, but it's not going to happen. NIP, they get that conversion, and now one more kind of lowly econ round around these 2 saved players. Nip looking for that 3-0 start, and Brolin keeping up appearances, keeping up that good form. Bodes well for NIP here on their T-side of Vertigo.
Just to mention as well, while we've been having a very one-sided affair, over on the A stream, Aurora taking on Eternal Fire, 14-13 in map number 1. That one looking like it might go the distance. And this 2 sides, brawling it out, spamming the smoke, rolling out the 52. Opening stats for him were flawless, but not going to be in the case in towards Vertigo. Blame F will find the first, spams the smoke, Brolin to fall. Numbers go in favor of Astralis, but for NIP, technically speaking, we consider this to be a bonus buy.
Yeah, they've still got that Mac 10. I'm going for the boost up, won't commit. That's a good sign for Astralis to kill Brolin early, especially with how much of a nuisance he was that previous map. Whether that will remain is still under question. They can throw an exec here, 3 smokes, 2 Molotovs. Options are plentiful for Nip. Astralis, though, look to play ahead of the utility already. Blame's still on shore. Device jiggling on the bomb site. They don't really have util for the retake, so Astralis want to thin those numbers early. Device gets one more. Blame going to try and swing with him. He won't find that kill. They're caught off guard. Peek on the short side. Config, perfect timing to take down Glaive and equalize. Nip have suddenly flipped this on its head, but they're uncertain about the utility. 1 Ellie smoke, 1 site smoke. Ugh. Awkward molly. An open chasm for Config to fight, and he will find Blame through it. Buzz trying to trade this kill. Config is lights out right now. And there is no recovering this round for Zip.
He's got to save, right? Has to keep that M4 in play. There's just no way he can make a 1 versus 3 work, especially considering no util. No util down either. Both sides struggling. Late round there after the bomb goes down with util. But even the T-side as well, same we said over towards Ninjas and Pajamas. If things went south and a retake started to occur, they'd have nothing to keep it at bay apart from firepower itself. Well, for Zip, he'll park up. Hope someone rotates over towards mid. He won't be given any love over there. And I'll keep that M4 in play. Astralis, not a great start. They have just lost to a bonus round. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they continue a dominant streak over from Nuke.
Yeah, I'm surprised Blame's not holding that wide open gap in the site. He's looking for boosts, he's looking for jumps over the boxes, but yeah, it seems obvious the only route he can really get straight up fort from is the non-smoked side of the site. Config gets away with murder in that round. 3 huge kills. And Nip flawless so far.
Yeah, you know, this one, the thing that's scaring me, Config has always been a very snowbally player. He is someone who can ride the highs of momentum. It's what makes him such a scary opponent. And I think, you know, after getting caught, not really offering up much of a challenge on that first map, his confidence is probably peaking right now. Even the way in which he fights in that 3-on-3 is screaming confidence, right? He is just stood still out in the open, full faith that he's going to nail those shots on the first possible contact. You know, it's a risky way to have tried to play it, but Config just didn't seem phased the whole time. And, you know, this is the scariest form for him to be in. And no one knows that like Astralis do, right? Like people like Blame F do, who have been with this guy for years, even pre-Astralis. They know when he's in good form. They know the games you've got to watch out for him in, and they're probably getting a whiff of that right now.
That's a huge smoke. Zip calls for support, and Glaive runs over to save him. He got spotted going in ladder. This is something we saw more so in mid and late rounds against Vitality when Astralis made that big comeback. They were 14-5 down. They lost 16-14. It was off a solid 9-round streak on the CT side. Zip was very active in that game. He had a lot of impact. He was flanking down ladder, and so this is something that Nip should be ready for. I've seen it early though. He's repositioned. He's gone back to the A site, but right now it's Nip looking to crunch B as a unit.
Right now, of course, all down to Zip. He has to alleviate some of this pressure. The only M4 remaining alive. We've already sung the praise of the Device on towards that Deagle, but right now it's Buzz, the youngster, who's going to be tested. Good smoke, good timing too. Will really have to chip away at the clock and leave NIP in a little bit of a predicament when it comes towards an execute. But they have a lot of util on the belt and a flank starting to come through.
Yeah, this will take some time for this flank to develop though. So Buzz, he would love a kill inside of the smoke. Sits in it, couldn't pick a target. Alexi takes him down, covering his teammate. Glaive getting just spammed away. Hits a little bit of damage, but it's Rez with another entry, and Nip just run wild. At this point, they have the players to dedicate to a flank. Hope to see someone turn around soon, but it's a flank that will never appear for Astralis. Zip rather already looking to save, and Device and Blame have armor as well. So Nip 4-0 up. All the signs of a great T-side right now. And I like how they're abusing B, because you do have that newest player in Buzz in this site, and it's a very hard site to anchor down solo. Even in that game the other day, we didn't see him getting a huge amount of support, the occasional flash over from mid, but I think Nip have identified this as a weakness of Astralis, and we'll probably see a lot more of these. See how Buzz fares when he's getting these executes. Could be very difficult to go positive on the B side of Vertigo when you're on your own, considering how easy it is to molly every conceivable spot.
It's one of those positions as well where you look towards Buzz and you can't actually really blame him for it as well. Astralis can't afford to overcommit over towards the B side. Even if they drag one player over from mid over towards B, it leaves mid exposed or leaves ramp exposed, and that's where NIP are going to continue. I guess it's just to play the mind games, really. Right now, 4-0 start, but thankfully Astralis in towards a full buy. Device in towards the AWP is good to see as well. Ninjas in Pajamas, not really needing one right now. Over in the other stream too, 15-14. OT could be looming there, or maybe Aurora going to close that one out in the final round, final full 30.
This is nice. Zip helped Buzz to get him in position early, and they play a layered crossfire where Buzz is on the bottom side. He is committed right now. There's a molly on stairs. Buzz has to fight for this position. Great lineup by him and Zip. And now Nick know what they're up against. They're going to try and fight their way out, but Buzz covers his teammate very well. Fantastic round out of Buzz. Still Alexi trying to punish Zip. That nade puts him down to 7. One shot will do it, but he can hear the steps of a teammate coming in. Glaive attempting to get his guy out of this fight, and he will. Winning another one to Brolin. Alexi is too low. And that is it for Astralis. That's how you deal with the contact Bs that Nip have been offering. Alexi just waiting, but he'll get given nothing. And even if he takes one out with him, there's a guaranteed trade here. Astralis get their first round on the board. That's a good solution. Double B play. We'll see how Nip adapt.
For now, take a breather. At this sort of stance, I think we still look over towards Astralis to try and make a difference. That's much better. Taking owners, taking early fights. It's good to see Buzz coming in towards the fray as well. I mean, he's a player who I think gets affected by confidence just because of his age, right? When you're making that big step up in towards tier 1, we're still yet to see consistent performances coming out of him. Now, if we can get him confident, if we can start to get him taking a little bit of onus over towards that B side, controlling it, forcing NIP into rotations back towards ramp, back in towards the pack, that's where potentially Astralis can start to claw their way back into this game. But momentum-wise, still isn't looking all too favorable.
Yeah, when Nip are this loud towards A, Astralis can't own the B stairs, really. They have to play a safer position. So Buzz is jiggling. He's on his own now. And I want to see if Nip adopt this seesaw to go back towards B in late rounds. Rez is waiting for aggression. And in this round, Nip will crunch mid as a trio.
I'm getting a bit nervous here. 2 over in mid. From the side of Astralis, they could look to play like this layered crossfire where you get up on the pallet, but instead they're just going to fight side by side. Glaive playing anti, that's the bomb. Getting away from Alexi, the flash comes out after the fact, and they're both blind. Glaive was playing anti-flash at first, but right as he turns around, that's when the flashbang sails in. And now Buzz has got to do it. Only 1 kill from the B hold. Blame F and Device, with Device dead, back in the elevator. Blame F can't really get a handle back over this round. Gonna do a bit of damage downrange on a head trick. If he can get this kill, maybe he's on for the clutch attempt.
Oh, it's so
the head trick's full blind and puts a stop to Blame F's clutch.
Damn, that was a really nice try for Astralis, I've got to say, right? The double mid setup looked good, but a fantastic flash for head trick. Poise is config for a double, and I like how head trick, you know, he doesn't doubt himself when he's on con, even though the bomb is right behind him, and he could have made an argument to run back and get it. He knows he has the power position to kill a rotate. He makes his team get that bomb.
It's a ballsy round from him as well, right? I think that's a really nice shot to finish things off. Good to see him really starting to take some control now, get a bit confident. Brolin, already spoken time and time again about his opening stats, but he's struggling a little bit over towards ramp at times. Already getting spammed down over towards top.
NIP, though, more than willing to kind of brawl for this ramp control. And I want you to just kind of bear in mind how NIP are approaching ramp, right? How the kind of look is for them right now, right? Even though there was all this util down, even though Astralis were kind of triple facing, NIP were down a reply with utility of their own, take some risks pushing through it with flashes to try and take this real estate. And just bear that in mind for when we see this Astralis second half, so we can compare and contrast this. Brolin, another opener to his name before Blame F trades it, and he's boxed in over towards the sandbags. That one-way used against him all over again by Alexi B.
Love that.
Gonna keep the advantage in the NIP squad. Everything slows down now for a moment, but an explosion of contact's about to come through on the short side. Nice. Device only 1. The trade is immediate. Rez pivots. Knocks out Zip as well, and Buzz on this rotate's been heard and commed across by Config. They know that that B player just left, and so the bomb's even coming back. They are playing this as safe as they possibly can. Buzz should realize that someone might have slipped past him here. That would be the only reason why you would rotate the bomb out in this situation, and so he decides against going back through the spawn. Plants coming in, and Buzz looking for the save is going to get denied. Man, you know, lights out from Nip here. Brolin, again, such a key player in this game right now. Not afraid to throw himself into the fray, not afraid to take these opening duels. He opens that round. He has full faith in Alexi to collect that trade and maintain the advantage that they worked for. And then Rez does this, which, you know, fair play to Zip. He's trying to re-aggro. He's trying to catch that timing. A shot's been taken when maybe, you know, he's like the unknown factor swinging in from top ramp to get the trade.
Does feel like a day where everyone's on for Nip, right? Like there's no weak player right now. Anyone can be relied upon. Config in middle will get picked by Device this time. I like that start for Device. Making the AWP sick. Glaive caught reloading as Brolin runs through the smoke in anticipation. And Zip will activate. I like a move like this. Nip are so committed with 4 up on A that he will have timing to find a flank. Blame needs to try and live here. He's trapped right out on short, chases that kill in front of the Molotov, and even kills Headtrick with the pistol. That's a very awkward round now, and so Zip doesn't need to play this flank just yet.
Headtrick's got to hit that shot, right? We're looking towards Rez now. Spotted out, back turn. He's dancing between 2 angles, a rock in a hard place. It's all down to Alexi trying to lead from the front with a 4 versus 1. And it will not go his way. Much better round from Astralis. And that comes off the back of the CT side just taking control early doors. We've seen Astralis for the most part of both this map and Nuke. They allow NIP early bits of control, especially over towards Ram. That's been the big one. You know, Broly's been getting up towards yellow top, more or less for free. He's taking bits of spam damage, but no one's committing to a fight with him until he's already up in towards his top fight here. But that is much better. They're taking control. Device pushing in towards mid. Zip taking some control as well, wrapping through. That's what we want to see from Astralis. Take map control, get info, and then use that to win rounds.
Yeah, the one thing that is kind of nice here for Astralis is it's easier for your players who have good success in opening duels to get involved, right? You are going to get given ramp fights. You are going to have angles to try and contest here in the early round where you can kind of do so on your own terms, right? We've already seen Device try and make another play over in middle, looking to get stuck in with that AWP again. Blame F will always try and challenge you and harass you in some of these ramp fights. So, you know, it's a better look for these opening round players to get involved for Astralis, and it will be harder for NIP to avoid these gunfights. Buzz burnt out over towards B, rough way to go, and it doesn't surprise me that we see Nip go back towards this side of the map, considering the players they're running into over towards A and where they succeed. They get that opener at B, and now I like this slowdown in the mid-round, right? They're going to try and get a bit tricky with it, try and cut off the flow of info. They don't want to run into that Device AWP that they spotted over at B either. This is their time to slow it down, but Zip could throw everything through a bit of a loop here. He's going to get the info that B only has 1 man at it, and so that's going to free up Device to rotate away with this AWP.
I fear he doesn't see Rez here unless he goes wide. There it is. That's a big kill, and as you said, Device is running away right now to get into position. 30 seconds, Nip. They haven't got an exec here, or rather the smoke's already out. They are down on the site. Blame is committed ahead of them yet again.
This is going to be rough. You look over towards NIP, how are they going to make this work? Device through the smoke, finds Headrick, training on the angle, Config up close. Tech 9 will at least give them some room to work with. The bomb will be planted, but Device knows about the lineup. He finds Brolan spamming through the box, looking for another shot, and time too far gone surely. Alexi trying to get this bomb down, too much pressure, and much better from Astralis. Finally, for the first time this entire series, we're seeing Astralis put consistent, consecutive rounds on the board, and it comes off the back of them once again, taking early control.
Yeah, Device loves those wall bangs, man. Even for the brief time he was on NIP, he was known for spamming people through that default box on the A side. So great shots coming out from Device. 1 ahead and 1 inside. Just a feeling. And Device has got it. But Nip, very close round. However, not close enough to keep them in it. Their money is broke. Packed pistols up the short side. It's a position that, as you said, Brolin has had a lot of space towards, so Nip will join him there. They can flood out and overwhelm Blame in this round, but he smells armorless players.
Still, you know, in a world where he goes down, Device trapped in at the sandbags, this could get very, very wild. Right now, they're all like, oh, the AWP screwed. The AWP screwed. There shouldn't be a way that Device lives. The Blame's left him.
Oh, God.
Blame's even reloading. They're flooding him up through short, and there's Device blindsided. That's just so ugly. That is so, you could see that happening before it even happened. Glaive trying to turn the tide, does come running in and mop up Alexi at least.
Still.
Config armed with the AWP, still in with a chance. And I mean, you're already very content with the damage and the plant found in this round. If you're NIP, now you're seeing if you can make it even sweeter. Config staring down the barrel of this AWP, is looking to thin the herd as Astralis move in for this retake. Flash goes high. Config seeing a little leg there, knows that someone resides out on headshot, but tap on the bomb, forces a peek. Just time for the defuse here. Astralis will get that round over the line, but at quite the cost. Considering what NIP bring into it, you are more than happy with how that round panned out.
Yeah, that's a great call again, man. I feel like, you know, Alexi's had some fantastic ideas in this series. Coming up on the short side with all 5 players and no info. Because of how aggressive Roland's been on short, Glaive has stopped going through this gap smoke, has stopped fighting for yellow, and so they just get all this room for free and overwhelm Device and Blame.
It's an ugly round, though. I mean, at the start, it was like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah,
you could just see it happening.
It was coming.
It was horrible to see. Thankfully, at the very least, they're bailed out by Astralis. And you do beg the question, if NIP had a little bit of armor to work with, that round could have gone south in a matter of moments. Nade will find Brolin to open things up. He's now really starting to struggle over towards top. They've got a good read on him. And Blame F pushes in front of it as well.
Oh, if he stayed on that angle, he would have found Headtrick throwing the flash. Blame aggressive, drops the bomb with 2. That's a big move for Blame to take that space after Brolin's death. And Blame has more to say. Smoke comes down, he plays below it, he plays inside of it. Blame wants to end the round right here, right now. Him and Buzz will. 4 kills from Blame F. Very proactive move down A. Notices a gap, takes it, and destroys NIP. This game's closing up.
Yeah, funnily enough, you know, I think Astralis are a team that have shown us some struggles in mid-rounds, but Vertigo is actually one of the maps on this CT half where I actually quite like watching them, right? Because Blame F does try these aggro short plays. Device is down a fight towards the top of ramp, but another player I think sometimes just flies under the radar a bit is Zip. Zip is someone who quite likes his mid-round plays here on Vertigo, right? You'll sometimes see him going for like an aggro mid-push in the mid-round, trying to get down the ladder, trying to come in on backstabs. That round it's Buzz over towards B, like coming in with the B aggression, thanks to Blame F getting all the info that everyone's bottom ramp. But, you know, this CT side out of Astralis is a little more mobile on this map, and it does flow around a little bit more. So these kind of aggro moves are not too surprising. NIP had to know they were going to be coming down the pipeline at some point.
Yeah, to put numbers on that, Zip went, you know, after the first half against Vitality on T-side, he got 4 kills. He ended the game with 22. So he had a massive CT side recovery, and he was being super impactful on these flanks. So we're already seeing him try and do this game. He's not been punished yet, but he's not even been needed, really. Astralis have been dealing with NIP before he's come through. They know that in the back of their mind, though. This is one of Zip's options. Roland's been honestly getting bullied, you know, on short, getting spammed through this yellow position. Blame will kill him again. Started better than has been going on recently. Zip very blind, but they don't clear Buzz, and he's going to be able to feast 2 kills, overwhelmed by a pistol. Flash is good, but Device doesn't care, and it's going to be Astralis leveling the playing field 6-6 right now.
Much better. A couple of individuals really making their presence known. Blame F having a great game so far as well. That's what we need to see coming out of this Astralis side. Take some control. We're now seeing this side chain rounds together, which even that alone was rare in towards the opening map of this series. And I think the pressure is now starting to flip for the first time. We actually are looking over towards Alexi to try and rally the troops here. They've gone a little bit quiet. You can see how they're a little bit dejected in terms of how they're playing so far on Vertigo. We need to see some of that noise come back, especially with the likes of Config, right? He's such a confidence player. We need to see him getting loud, getting proud, and starting to take fights. Use what he's best at, mechanical prowess.
Those first couple of rounds were really nice on B because they were just abusing Buzz solo, but then that one round where Buzz and Zip played a layered defense and destroyed NIP has scared them away from the bomb site. They're barely returning to it in rifle rounds, so I'd love to see NIP go back to, you know, do their A default that has been pushing Astralis back into the bomb site and try and end us on the B site with Config on a mid lurk. Something like this could be nice because still we haven't really seen Buzz, you know, like be needed in gun rounds for Astralis.
One thing as well, I've got to say, I mean, while he has been getting, for the most part, pretty bullied, I got a lot of respect for his brother. He's continuing just to be such a thorn in the side of Astralis and continue to make things awkward. Flash will come on the corner as well, but Rez gets away in time. Doesn't make any noise either. So at the very least, they've got unconfirmed information of presence down towards these B stairs. But Rez going to stick around.
Yeah, this is going to change everything now for Nip, who had Rez holding very passive. Buzz is freed up to rotate. Zip stays in a power position. Device looks for a one and done in middle. Ooh, Flash did nothing from config. Device misses the shot on timing. He's going to go through the Molotov. Device, careful here, buddy. Hits that flick to the head of config. Fantastic shooting. Blame aggresses back on short and finds Brolin. So Astralis can sit very comfortably in this round. You see even Zip peels back as the rest of Astralis leave short as well. They are in full control right now. We need a hero.
Alexi trying to be a candidate for it, taking a peek up the top of ramp, but deterred by that swing from the man at default. NIP grouping all three players for the A hit, but this re-aggro from Buzz catches a nice little timing, free damage off on the spam as well. Brings Hedrick down very, very low here. Nip are going to struggle to find a way into this round. Astralis, overwhelming numbers in the site. There's even this backstab coming in. Nip don't know it, but they're fully boxed in. It's Zip moving in through the back lines, just going to strike, take Hedrick out of the round, and now Rez really getting pressured, is finished off by that Device AWP. 6 in a row now for Astralis. The CT side, it's where they do their best work, right? So it's reassuring to see them going on a streak like this to recover. The one worry I have is, you know, we've seen this map crop up twice for Astralis here already, and thus far, in the 2 times they've played it, they've been able to get 6 T-side rounds total. 1 round in the Eternal Fire, 5 versus Vitality the other day. So, you know, it's the T-sides that have been the problem more often than not. I think you need to complete this kind of run. You need to do the legwork here if you're Astralis in the first half, because if history's anything to go by, this is where they find their successes on this map.
Nice double nade there for Astralis as well.
Gotta say, the big thing that I want to come back to something you were saying earlier, that double layer defense that really kind of scared NIP away from these stairs. We're still seeing it. One Molotov from Zip, and they completely give up on even the hope of going over towards B. Right now, they're being completely shut out by raw numbers over towards ramp. And all it's taking is the smallest amount of presence.
Yeah, they've drawn a lot of attention away. It's only Blame here on A left, and it's because he has a lot of control, but not for long. Traded out with a flash peek from Brolin, and Device is on his merry way round. They're going to re-aggress, try and catch these pistols, setting up nades. Zip, tap, that's a destructive kill from Brolin. It's up to Glaive, he's on the clock. Device with a missed shot, Deagle out, and he's fallen off the box. This could not be going worse for Astralis if they tried. Hedrick with some crucial entries on this eco round, and the bomb's going down.
It's off the Buzz. 1 versus 3, the youngster needs some magic from him. He's already got the 1 kill, but a quad clutch needed. Smoke's coming down, there's a wall in front of him. He fucked it okay, Buzz. That's a corker of a shot on towards Hedrick. But in the grand scheme, it does not affect all too much. Finally, NIP back to their winning ways for the first time in 8 rounds played.
Yeah, that's quite a streak for Astralis in the middle there. But Nip with an eco. They put so much pressure on B that they draw everyone out of the A site. And usually you would just see the AWP hold deep ramp, but because Device has not really been starting A and going for picks and playing for mid openers, it's actually Blame who takes that space, takes that mantle. But that's exactly what Nip want. It gives them a 1-for-1 at the bottom of ramp, and it arms them with a gun that goes on to kill 2 more.
That's sumptuous, I've got to say. One of the things, you know, I think a constant narrative and reoccurring thing that we've been talking about is entry killing over towards Astralis. Right now, Blame 6-0. He's been having a lot of success over towards ramp, and I think that's where the onus comes over towards Brolin to make the difference. But he's really been struggling over towards top, and he's getting bullied as we spoke about. Yeah. Naded down so low that spams are just his demise.
Blame doesn't mind, I think, making plays on CT side. It's T-halves where we see the main issues.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's always been a great Vertigo ramp player, as Blame. It does seem to suit him. He gets to kind of pick and choose his battles, and he likes to be involved early.
Gotta admire Brolin for just continuing to stubbornly take short. And yeah, to differing degrees, but the last few times he's been getting peppered through the smoke and through the wall as well. Headtrick with an opener. That's huge for Nip. They need that right now. Taking a man advantage on the A pick, and Headtrick is given time to relax and look for more. Device is going to come meet him here. Headtrick changes sides. So Device sees nothing right now. Or is Glaive going to give this away? Headtrick moves over. Oh, that was very close, but he saw both players. He's got a lot of info right now on this A site. Headtrick going to try and keep them here while he can. The rest of Nip can go back to this B hit. Buzz in a power position to get one and fall off. It won't remain. They have a double nade available, and they've been using them pretty frequently, so playing Tetris is dangerous, but he's a little bit further back. Let's see what kind of execute Nip go for.
I don't think you want a double nade. You just want to contact this right up into the site. Buzz gets the spot at least. He does well to not fall. Now fighting for this. Flashed in by his teammates, but it's getting really awkward. And now this util can come out right. It's telegraphed now, and he burns down Config. Catches him out in the open, but time is of the essence for NIP. They're playing this one down at the buzzer, and Zip doesn't want to let them in. Brolin could be the man in the back line. Zip doing everything, but it's not enough. Alexi knocks him out right at the close. And so that's an NIP round played into the final few seconds for NIP to win out this first half.
So I just immediately like...
We saw some recruit.
He started talking trash a bit about Copenhagen Flames. And
Oh, no way.
Hey, I'm gonna catch one.
It's time for the Gauntlet Challenge.
what is the Gauntlet?
No. It's the f***ing goal!
No way, this is last place. It went really badly.
I wouldn't say it's good, because I would say it was great.
Go, baby!
It's now time for Dupree to show us how much grit he's got. Will he bring vitality to this challenge? Will his movement be good enough? Or will the new map take the spring right out of his step? It's time to start the Gauntlet.
Ooh, interesting. All right, let's get this show on the road. So this is another long jump thing. Oh, I jumped too. No, that's very nice. Oh, surf. No. Oh, yeah, I made it. Oh. Easy Katka. Hello? It's bugged. Hello? I swear, you need to take at least 3 seconds off the time on that one. No! Yes! Woo! Can we call S-Attack and get him in here, please? Movement King, A-Core, maybe Alexi B, something like that. I'm pretty old, so movement is not my key thing, but I excelled in the shooting part, so I think that's fine. I think that was okay.
Dupree, everyone. Well done. I was watching from the sidelines. Let me shake your hand again. First one, the bravest to set a time on the Gauntlet Challenge. How did you feel about your tries?
Started out decent, turned into horrendous, ended up fairly fair.
Like any good career, right?
Yeah. Pretty much, yes.
All right, let's make it official. Let's pull in the leaderboard. Assistant? Beautiful. Let's go ahead and reveal your time as the first official contestant of the Gauntlet. That's right, they finally gave me my own show. Watch the Launder Show exclusively on Blast TV.
Let's go, baby!
And as always, it's been a blast.
Zip, the Vertigo Global right there, mauls 4 players at the end of the half, but it's still Nip to come out in their winning ways with 8 rounds rather, despite his best efforts. This was a mad half, but one that shows Nip's prep is paying off, and despite some good signs for Astralis, a 7-round CT side on Vertigo, it's not great.
I think there's definitely signs to be worried as well. I think we've already mentioned about how Astralis and T-side, they do kind of lose the plot a little bit at times. I mean, Nuke T-side was abysmal from them. And it does worry that that might leak over into towards Vertigo. I think right now Nip have done probably just enough to really give them an opportunity. And we'll look towards Brolin to continue his winning ways from Nuke, because he was a little bit quiet at times here.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not too worried about Brolin just yet. You know, entering up ramp, especially when you look at who he's trying to entry against, it's no wonder why he's not looking as flawless as we saw over on Nuke, right? But yeah, man, I don't know. The one thing that maybe frees up Astralis a little bit here to cool a little looser than maybe they normally would on a T side is like, man, it's do or die at this point. Like, there must just be some rounds where you want to just kind of let the dogs off the leash, as it were, and see what they can do. And maybe that's something that comes out with this potentially being your final half in the RMRs. This round, it's out through mid. Looking to pour over the top of construction. They find that first. Alexi dead. Config also dealt with, but the dualies still pose a threat here. Rez is run down. Too many bodies and not enough guns.
It's much better already. Brolin head trick. The youngsters really got to do something magical here. This is seriously difficult. Blame have to fight. Head trick left all alone. A kit in hand and a smoke. This one's surely done.
Yeah, locked out by a quick mid to B, and it gives you hope for Astralis' T side here, but it's going to be a long way back to recovery. I agree with your point there, Harry. I think if there was any time for Astralis to play a little looser and show us a better T side than what they've shown us all tournament, this would be it.
Worried or not really?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm just been impressed by NIP all day, really. And yeah, Astralis, they've got a pistol, but I don't want to get ahead of myself by any means.
Yeah, and a buy coming through, of course, over towards NIP. It's sort of the standard meta right now. Utility in the same fashion, a priority, but they can only invest into a little bit coming through here. Spoke on towards Sandbags, not used here, so it does mean that peak is a little bit open. Device going to take the first fight.
What a mid setup though, and this is the bomb. This can get very awkward. Device with some crucial kills. Glaive's pushed back low, but they'll take those entries and reset as a group. Leave Zip here for a late lurk. 5-on-3.
Right now, either way. Zip, Mach 10, finds Config. 5 versus 2 as well, and NIP starts to be put by the wayside. Not a good position to be in. And it'll just continue to fall flat as well. Brolin left all alone. 5-7 for him, an 8 and a smoke, half armor in a 1 versus 5. He might be able to get a couple of consolation kills, but that's essentially just about it.
Just reassuring for Astralis to keep rounds like this clean early in the half, build up some money. Although, Brolin, can he change that? He's got a nade, Glaive's low. They've walked past him for now. He's got a little 1v2 in the bomb site. Buzz with an AK or Galil will end it with ease. So Astralis, flawless second round, and now the full eco for NIP for them to reap their rewards of winning that pistol.
They've got some breathing room to work with. I think that's the important thing over towards Astralis now. They don't really have to be all too scared about what NIP are going to bring in for the next couple of rounds. Double eco situation for them. So for Astralis, build up at least a little bit of a repertoire over towards that T side where you know you can then start to kind of get a bit funky with it. Start to try, and at the very least on the full buy rounds, test NIP. Test what the defense is going to look like. We saw them do NIP in reverse, that over towards Buzz a few times, but arguably not enough.
Question is, how's the ramp control going to look for Nip in these rifle rounds, right? Because for Astralis, given it was very oppressive, right? All this spam, the nade combos, considering it wasn't really device AWPing ramp in gun rounds, Astralis did a good job of keeping Nip honest there. It's going to be a bit of an eco rush. Blame hears him coming, he runs for him. Don't let them get away with the gun though, Device. Don't want anything against you in that next round. Going to face it together. Device doing damage, but he's got teammates on the bottom side, so Nipper not getting out of this one alive. I can confirm that. Just about damage here, and Zip denying it. Takes the AK and takes the 10th for Astralis. Here's where the game begins for NiP now. They've got to come in with a statement rifle round to start this half, or Astralis could seriously pull this back. And keep in mind, boys, if we go to Overpass, I see Astralis as favorites off that map alone. So things can get hot and heavy very quickly if NiP don't start strong here in the second half.
Gotta agree. I mean, one thing for me as well to look forward for this as well, when we look towards Nuke, the big damning factor and kind of the nail in the coffin over towards Astralis was the fact that the bonus rounds are kept being converted by NIP. When you talk about that double bomb execute coming through, we need to see Astralis do a bit of the same from them. Just continue this run of form. Open play for the Vice is huge. Same can't be said over towards NIP. Just the quintuple rifles for them, prioritizing utility.
I do like how we see more and more teams now using lineups for what I call the hampers smoke. Okay. But it's this deep yellow smoke here that you see on the right side. It can be difficult to throw consistently without a lineup. But you know, someone always theory crafts something. Ooh, Device, he's seen these jumps. Are you really going to give him more? Now he's ready. Finally double scoped and on top of the box, but they've stopped. Still have this top ramp setup. Device sees him cross over. Going to try and hunt this kill. Well, he's got it. Fantastic shot. Brolin's out of the round here. And Astralis, this is what we wanted out of Nuke, right? Whole team plays back, lets Device get to this entry, and now Astralis can try and trade up ramp. Headtrick's got to be careful. They're up yellow.
Alexi, that's the bomb found, and he'll take a double out of it. Even dropping that molly. They're forced to go and grab the bomb, and that leaves them burning. In that moment, there was a decision poised. There was a question asked of Blame. It's either go forward through the molly, leave it all hinging on a gunfight, or run back and just take the damage. He went with the former. That now leaves the bomb under NIP control. Device adds another to the tally here on this AWP. But NiP, I like this move. They're re-aggroing into the top of ramp. They can hear one man here right now.
Device. What is the bomb? Is the bomb out the map? Did the bomb... Oh, it's up on shore.
It's on shore.
Oh, he was freaking me out, man. He was staring at the ground like, where's the bomb?
Well, I mean, our saves coming through. I guess it's the right call, technically speaking. They could have given that a crack, though.
I'm blind. I guess he was looking for nades.
Too far removed, right? Too far out of the round. One man all the way over on the other side of the map. But yeah, you know, this is kind of the sad part for me, right? This was my big worry about Vertigo, and that's that. You see rounds where Astralis will go a man up and then they struggle to convert it in spite of that. This was the first example that we're going to have. Starts off 5v4, but nice reaction out of Alexi B over towards the short side. And awkward timing for Blame F, that kind of world where you either fight forward and leave it all on the gunfight. He's got faith in his aim and his ability, so you understand where he's coming from, but this round gets off to a dire start. Brolin doubles up.
Headtrick's flashes this game have been immaculate, right? Another double set up by Headtrick. Did it in T-side to get config that mid-swing. Do it again for Brolin, and they don't stop after that. They push all the way through, confirming the B hits, freeing up Brolin to run a rotation. Astralis lobbing in and execute Rez. One kill would go a long way.
Rez is well posted. Here's all of this utility. Molotov is going to start to tick on towards his feet. He's going to stick in it for a while, but he's buying time for config, and he's had all the information. Easy double, surely, and that is the case. It's a great call coming through from NIP. Rez just pumping the brakes, keeping them posted over towards stairs. Buys time for config to flank. Another great round. NIP, since the full buys have come out, to look pretty damn flawless.
Yeah, the balls to continue down ramp after this double kill, but Brolin knew he put the fear in Astralis. Sends it. And config cleans up the round. And they're getting a lot more hyped. We're not seeing anything of the sort when Astralis pick up rounds. Pretty stoic right now in this server. They can feel the pressure. NiP have the buffer of a one-map lead. Astralis call out another timeout.
Yeah, NiP, it might be a tie game, but NiP have the upper hand here. And you know, this is where for Astralis, they're being asked to dig very, very deep, right? Calling in this tack pause, but this is really only a time for Glaive to try and have a little extra time to speak to the boys, right? Yeah. Don't have that man behind them, so it is just kind of his world, his perspective. And you know, for Astralis, this is going to represent steady decline of the Org's results across majors since we returned from the pandemic. They actually did fairly well for themselves back in Stockholm, but that was still with Dupree and Magisk in the squad. Then we have Antwerp roll around. They get eliminated in the challenger stage.
Hello. Okay, Device will open things up at the very least. NIP, they were looking like they're on a bit of a reign of terror. Device, Elite dancing back. Caught blind as well, playing F. He's lucky to stay alive, but the Molotov will force him away. Bit of damage to be dealt in. It'll force him into an engagement, which Alexi was ready for. Brings the numbers back level. And NIP now, they don't need to overextend.
Device 5-0 and openers, 3 of them on this T-half alone. Has been making stuff happen for Astralis. Nip are going to crunch middle in the mid-round, akin to what Zip did so many times. And this again will poise Config for a big flank. That one-way smoke is huge for Nip. It's going to buy a few more seconds. Oh, Astralis don't respect it. This is great. They can get ahead of this timing, even though there will be a flank in play. If they can get the bomb down and then check it out, they can just be favored in timings alone. There's nothing worse than coming in on this ramp flank and being spotted at the bottom. Zip has eyes on it right now. Astralis throwing in execute utility. Headtrick trying to delay and deny, and 2 massive kills will do exactly that. Now they don't have the numbers to fight for a flank. Nip are primed and ready.
Oh, if Device goes back and loses the bomb, that's the round.
Oh.
They're already up past him on short. They'll lob the bomb in, but that gets him killed. Rez with the backstab, and this is going to throw Zip's timing off. He is not ready for his second player coming up through shore.
What a play.
Dude, you know, for me, I really hope that as this game starts to approach a bit of a conclusion, we see Astralis at moments like that. The amount of times I see them with this top ramp control, they kind of have all the makings of an A play. And this is where, you know, for a squad, I mean, hell, even in that Vitality game, it was a good example, right? Vitality aren't afraid to run these rounds where once they get this top ramp control, man, they'll just go. You know, like they will just kind of run amok and try to take the space in the even odds bout, knowing that it's hinging on Nip, like gambled anyway. You know, there was a round towards the end of Astralis' matchup versus Vitality where they got fully blindsided, just a round where like Zywoo held W and ran all the way up ramp and they still had nades out in the site. Astralis don't really like to take those risks, but I hope those risks become something worth considering when you're vying for your tournament life at the RMR in this elimination matchup in the second map of it, and a map down to boot. Just pistols now for the Danes.
For Assad as well, they've always been so disciplined. You look towards Astralis and you hope that they loosen up. Just allow some of the individuals buzz. Just let him free roam. We know he's pretty talented as mechanically. Try and let him find a little bit of form. But this discipline that they're using right now that's been so synonymous with Astralis is actually biting back against them. Because NIP, they themselves, are allowing individuals to shine. Speaking of an individual, Buzz, nice shot. Rez gets caught, and in doing so, that B-side starts looking a little bit more vulnerable. They're forced to go and man it now.
The Device is also looking for a pick on default. Config might give it. And there's a double D opener for Astralis. This would be a insane round to win right now at this point in the game, but Alexi B's on the site, going to drop a smoke to try and play behind. Brolin picks another apart, and Astralis getting sliced and diced in this round, isolated as they die one by one, and with no utility.
Oh, this is awkward now. You hear this as well. They've got to run because they don't have time to go slow. They don't have time to sneak this. So for Blame F and Device in the 2v3, you're just relying on the Deegs being true. That was a collateral for Headtrick. Device tagged by that AWP, and now just looking to get finished off. Headtrick will show some mercy and at least kills him before that timer expires. But Nip answered the call. A couple of nice Deegs to open this one up for Astralis. Started with this from Buzz. The follow-up was this one out of Device. But that was the end of the success found in that round from Astralis.
Yeah, Nip trade contact very well. Lexi doesn't overcommit to what could have been, you know, just a deep spray into that triple hold, or triple push rather. He lets Brolin take contact. Astralis aren't able to find any more kills in that round.
Death taxes and Device Deegs. I like the way you put it earlier, but I mean, again, he continues to show what he's all about. Astralis full buyout for them, and it must win as well. Once again, we look at the scoreboard, 12-10 with the lead that NIP have got, and how close they are to the all-elusive 16. Astralis, they've not got many force buyers left in them. They need to start converting these. Time is running out.
Panic mode. Brolin sees him get through the ramp smoke with that flash, and he has to fall all the way back. Finally, Astralis have ramp for, well, quite a cheap price. They have just enough util to run this exec as well. Couple of mollies, sandbag and boost. They could even re-smoke us twice over. Brolin waits, drops off silent, doesn't want to warn Astralis where they are. It's very, very passive for Astralis, holding for Nip to make a move. Will they? Lexi's pushed up on Crane. That can be a flash primed by Brolin.
It's level-headed from NIP as well. We've seen them go for these audacious pushes round through B when there's no contact. Right now, they're holding down the fort, but they need a rotation.
And the flash comes in quite early, a few seconds later, and I think they kill Glaive, but instead, Glaive knows what's up. Smoke starts to come down on the bomb site. 25 seconds, only Alexi ahead of them.
Now here's the push. Alexi going to win that first fight. Brolin alongside him tips the scales even further in favor of NIP. Spammed out one by one at a time, and worlds apart. It's left it all on Device and Zip. He's going to use his teammate as a little boost up over the top. Device doing everything he can to keep them in this one, but now all alone in the clutch. Low on health, 1 HP. As low as you can go, and Rez will say goodnight to Device as he sends him packing. Man, you know, this is so wild. 13-10, NIP pulling ahead. And one of the questions, you know, we had coming into this, one of the questions I even asked Device was about this 5v4 win percentage, about how, you know, how do these rounds keep going wrong for Astralis? The thing that's wild is, you know, the scoreline might be super close in a way, like Nip starting to pull ahead. But in terms of the opening fights, it's 17-6 in favor of Astralis. And NIP are winning this game right now, right? That represents just a huge problem. Like, this is not something that should be happening with any team that hopes to be a contender. You know, and in the interview, Device said it wasn't really something they've paid mind to. You know, he thinks it maybe is skewed by the opening day, but man, like, I can tell you now, these are these faster rounds where it's a bit more Hail Mary. Blame F was doing it alone, though, with no support, so they leave it all on hoping he can find something there. That's like a desperation attempt at making and forcing a play to happen at the top of ramp. I don't even hate it, I'll be honest with you. You know, I think desperate times call for desperate measures, but the thing that's concerning for me is that Astralis have struggled winning 5v4 rounds. Even these have been close, and over the last couple, Nip have been the ones picking up the man advantages. They've been starting rounds 5v4. And so for the Danes, you know, the task is monumental here. You've lost Blame F, someone who's played a key role on this map, someone who's been a piece that you can rely on. And with him out of the picture, that responsibility's got to fall down the line to someone else.
You lose this round as well, you're essentially playing for overtime. That's the awkward position that Astralis are in right now. NIP getting closer and closer to 16. At the moment, currently sitting on a 5-round winning streak. Headtrick up close and personal. Device just going to shift walk his way past. They've got room over towards ramp. And a good flash will at least keep them at bay. Nade off the back of it as well. Headtrick first to be tested. Oh, will he convert? Well, there's one. Falling away. Side turn. Boz will find him.
Nice trade, 20 seconds though, and there's already a flank starting to go and play, and Brolin has been just so oppressive, even with smokes down, but finding kills through them. Does pick another player out, allowing the bomb plant. Nip not letting Astralis get comfortable here. There's still config to worry about. They haven't gone back to check for it. They don't even care at this point. He needs to activate though. Buzz has picked another. Glaive playing a crossfire, and they eviscerate Nip on the retake. Config knows now he has room, but he has to do something with it. Smoke and kit available on this bomb. Out he goes. Might just stick it. Nothing to lose. Everything to gain. 5 seconds on the bomb. They can't stop him, and NIP win the round. That is a robbery from Config. Steals a round away from Astralis, and maybe steals their spot at the major as well.
With that ninja defuse, with him just getting on the bomb, sticking it in the 1v2, like, man, I don't know, Astralis are done. That was nearly a 2v4, and it's put to a stop by one man with a defuse kit and a smoke. The guy who used to sit on this team in that jersey has just robbed away 14 rounds for the NIP squad.
It may be Config who's the ninja in pajamas, but Astralis are caught sleeping. Oh, unbelievable.
they're getting loud as well. You know that Astralis can hear that. It's just tilting. Not only physically are they broken, but mentally as well.
This game feels done, boys. This game feels absolutely done. Astralis are out of it in the last few, and then that one is the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake, and it's sweet taste for NIP. And it's a sad story for Astralis right now.
It is.
They've at least got a rebuy from the bomb, but my goodness. We said, you know, when we saw Vitality, dupreeh, the only player to make it to every single Go major so far. Zip was there back last time in Rio, or at the RMR, but couldn't make it. They went out in the RMR. They couldn't make it to Rio.
In
and
the
Zip
open
joined
qualifier.
Shox to, you know, be one of those teams who didn't. Rather 3 players. Now there's just 1. Is essentially my point. Zip didn't make it through the RMR.
Yeah.
And now he's going to do it again. Potentially.
Wild seeing Zip dead over in mid. Head trick to find him and an early 5v4. NIP sat pretty in this moment. It feels all laid out ahead of them. Revenge for Config. Chance to beat down on Device, the ex-AWPer of this team as well. And so revenge arcs are plenty for NIP, as they are just 2 kills away from moving on to match point and looking to eliminate Astralis from the RMRs. Rez is a stone's throw away from doing exactly that. He's got teammates moving over now. Buzz trying to take room, but as he goes around the corner here, moving into a double hold, I'll just elect to try and play around this smoke, looking for the gap over the top. This is purposeful, but he is a dead man. Rez finds him. 7 in a row for NIP. Map and series point here as they look to take it over the line. And it might all end with a whimper for Astralis. 3 rounds on this T-side so far. All of them coming off the back of the pistol for the Danes. And from the moment these rifles have come out, it has not been a contest. It has not been a competition.
How does Brolin get away with a kill there as well? Over towards sandbags. It never should happen. They know he's there. He's smoked out the Molotov. They've just got to leave someone trained on the angle, and they're flying in. This is desperation now. Blame F gets deleted, and Brolin going to close this game out on a Zip. Got other ideas, down to a 4 versus 4, and Buzz will answer back.
Yeah, that will draw everyone back. You can run, you can reset. That's a massive kill for Buzz. It seems like Nip wanted to close this a bit too soon. They've still got to work for it. Even Glaive retreats. Alexi re-aggresses. He will get this info soon. The entirety of NIP on this ramp control. Glaive a great position to punish and get that info that they are indeed flanking. But, oh, Alexi's dead. Glaive swings for more. That's a lovely double. Config now. Now, this one's a little too hard, a little too far. And so Astralis might just survive the night.
For now, at the very least, right? I mean, AWP in play. For him, he'll keep it alive and kick in, dropping it over towards Hedrick and towards the next. We still yet to really see him have all that much impact with it. On towards the CT side, but CT side AWPing generally on Vertigo is very difficult. And a lot of AWPers don't exactly like playing it. NIP, like you said, I think they just maybe set up the tempo a little bit too quickly. They got very, well, they saw the name in headlights. They saw the end of the tunnel, right? And they just wanted to see it off. Cool, calm, and collected. Astralis survive a scare for now, though.
Yeah. And it was a gung-ho top ramp rush, right? They tried to blame a couple of rounds ago. This time it's everyone. But it's so aggressive and it's so fast that it forces a flank. And that's the first time Nip have, just jumped the gun and rushed a flank. Trying to end it was Rez.
I like this, right? Take a break, take a breather. Yeah. You can kind of see where these guys are getting very angsty, and because of it, making kind of rookie errors like that, DJL are going to come in and just try and cool some heads, right? I don't think there's any need to be kind of overzealous here.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of pacey around from Astralis as well. You could see why Nip were thrown through a loop, right? They're not used to seeing that. You're not used to seeing Astralis committing fast up ramp with numbers. And so maybe, triggers a bit of a kind of a overreactive response out of NIP, right? As it wasn't the entire team. It was just 4 players with that lurk still floating around outside of B. And, Nip, that was like uncharted waters. But you have this idea in the back of your mind that surely they can't just do this for 5 more rounds, right? And as things get more standard, I think Nip can find comfortability in that. For Astralis, they're throwing it all out the window, right? This is Hail Marys to try and make this one work. Prepared to just leave it all out there. They want to at least say they've attempted some of these up-tempo rounds, and I think it's going to leave them looking all the better for it too in the long run.
Device attempting.
That was a really good chance at the opener. Like, that's actually one of the opening kills that you're a little bit annoyed at yourself with, that you don't get it. He knows how good that chance was.
He's for now. All goes a little bit quiet. Hedrick once again waiting for an overextension. There it is. Nice shot. Blame F. He's been struggling to get up towards top ramp, and Config going to be tested. He drops the bomb. This round starts to go by the wayside, and it's Glaive and Zip left all alone. The old guard of Astralis to keep their dreams alive. And NIP are 2 kills away from knocking them out. Make that just 1. And it's Glaive, the IGL, who needs a lead from the front.
Yeah, a legendary team, legendary players, a legendary organization, but they will not even make challenges here at Paris. The final CSGO major, and NIP are still fighting for that spot. They go 2-2 after a 2-0 against Astralis. Jersey swapped for Config and Device alike, but it's the Dane on NIP's side that will be going and celebrating today. That's a big win for NIP to do it in 2 as well, off the back of what was a decent first half for Astralis on this map. That's going to be a celebrating day for NIP, but the job is not done yet. One more match at least to make it to Paris.
Yeah, you know, sad times for Astralis on the other side of things. You know, this is a rough way for it to go. An organization synonymous with success at majors in the past and in recent memory, at least making it to them. But, you know, fall off at Rio, now similar repeat status here for the run to Paris. Astralis are gone, and reality setting in as the fist bumps come down the line for NIP. This was a great day in the office. They had a good game plan coming in. We had Config talking, fighting talk in the interview to open. He said he wants to beat them. But after the game, once all is said and done, he'll give them that little hug down the line.
All mates, all mates. And yeah, for Zip as well, you know, attends every single CSGO major except the last 2 back-to-back. Devastation, I think you could say, for Astralis, who have been trying to reform and refine their form in the last couple of years, but it's very hard to reach the heights that once was. And I feel like it's especially disappointing for Device, who has put on an incredible tournament as an individual player and been seemingly one of the only ways that Astralis can find success inside of the server. Yeah, worrying signs, worrying future for Astralis, but for NIP, at least for the time being, they keep their heads above the water. Man, this is cutthroat here in Group B of the RMR. So many top teams will be saying goodbye, will be going home, and an emotional end for Glaive as well, who's seen his fair share of major trophies across the years.
Yeah, and you look towards this as well, and Device, well, maybe on paper for Astralis, poor showing, as we all know, but Device has a clinic. He's at a really solid tournament, and he's showing that he can still be one of the most prevalent AWPers that we have within Counter-Strike, and it's unfortunate to see. Something's got to give over towards Astralis. Something has to change. We know they've got a couple of diamonds in the rough. Buzz, we know what this guy can do, but we're still not seeing it. And I don't think that's the player. I think it's the system. So something's got to change first towards CS2.
I mean, dude, yeah, you're dead on there, right? Like, even just looking at the results from this last map, just to recap the opening kills, I know it kind of went a bit better for NIP towards the end in terms of winning those opening fights, but 17-10 favoring Astralis. Wow. Enough opening duels, enough 5v4s to have won you that game. Also, Astralis not sticking the landing on a clutch throughout that series. On the other side, it was 6 clutches total for the NIP boys. Yeah. And I think, you know, when you look at Astralis, when you look at who's in this team, you've got Zip, you know, used to be the clutch minister, used to be the guy for the job. You've got Blame F, who is prolifically a very late round player, normally meant to deliver in those moments. You kind of have 2 guys who can fit the bill for these clutch rounds, and they would never come through either. So, you know, it does become a bit of a question for Astralis. It's like, man, where do the strengths lie when you're getting openers in 5v4s? You can't win rounds. You don't have the staying power to win clutches. And on the other side of thing, man, for the NIP guys, I want to give some credit to Alexi. I feel like he came into this with a good game plan today. The calling was lights out on Nuke. Over on Vertigo, I don't think they were worried for a moment it, even though that first half was close. I think they knew that they still had the best side ahead of them and Astralis' worst side ahead of them as well. So I think confidence was at an all-time high. Config in the interview said he was going to try and keep Headtrick in this game and motivated, and I feel like that was happening today. Config was a very good emotional spirit level of this team, trying to keep everyone engaged.
He was bringing energy from the start of the series, from round 3 of Nuke when they won an eco. You can see Config screaming it down, and yeah, individually he's also had a fantastic series here as well. So I think, you know, not just the history between these teams, but the want to make it to Paris for Config and to redeem himself, to rewrite his narrative is very much there. And I think Config, and as well Brolin, a player who we've seen at the highest level but has also dropped off a little bit recently, he put up on a fantastic series. So all round good signs for NiP, and obviously more Counter-Strike coming up, more commiserations, more eliminations, and more qualifications for the rest of the day. Our next game will be Force Monty, and so that's us wrapped up for this one, but we'll be back very shortly.
And round 5, who do we get now?
Okay, so we got Elise, we're going Elise again.
I'll just try Carrigan, because I think Carrigan is gonna give me a lot of hints.
GKS, Justin Savage, Justin Kill Savage.
He's older than 24.
AK-47, more than 5 majors.
And it seems like he is not European.
It could be Nitro, but at the same time, I think he's been... I'm going to try Nitro, actually. That's exactly the same result.
Not so familiar with all the NA players, so it's maybe a bit tougher on me, this one. Okay, let's try... Equal. The team is not Liquid, so no one from Liquid could be it. Maybe Rush? We can try for Rush.
Twist, he's Canadian, so not that guy. Naf. But then again, it could be Naf, but at the same time, but maybe Canadian, I'm going to try Naf.
Hooksy. Wait, it's not European. Electronic. More than 8 majors, and it's not even close to the Russia or Europe.
Rush is not it, but I have the age range pretty clear now. American teams, it's Liquid. Liquid? Only Liquid.
It's not OC. Stop thinking Liquid. I'm only thinking Liquid. Who else is playing in North America?
And he's played a lot of majors, it seems like, so it seems to be like an obvious name, to be honest.
Stewie2K. He's from America. He's retired already. But he's younger than 27. Imagine. Maybe he's playing Valorant.
Which was the roster that Cloud9 won the Boston major? Was it Stewie, Automatic, Rush, Skadoodle maybe? No, it's because the weapon is AK, so that wouldn't fit. Could it be Tarek? Let's try Tarek.
Let's go.
Why was that one? That one was really hot.
Yes, it's Tarek.
With the fatalities he found there, 5 frags, huge opening moment, and an even better closer. The bookend player, Stereo frags.
How does he even see that second shot?
Insane, just off the back of reaction, the feeling, the way he's playing.
The bite.
See how twitchy he was, man, like he was ready for a scrap. That's a swing round as well. That's one that will light a fire back under you, right? Especially towards the end of the half. You were building that storyline, the idea. If you can finish this 9-6, get the momentum back, everyone's hyped up. Well, Immor, he certainly shows them there's still a fighting chance in this series.
With a kill off the back of the Julies as well. Don't be surprised if we see Immor picking those up on the T-side once they swap over in the pistol round. Xantares gives a respect over to Aurora that they rightly deserve.
It's another elim game here
over
on the B stream. We've got
swings.
500 taking.
Let's see what they're going to be able to do over towards a bombsite. Immor whipping the first shot, whipping the second as well. This isn't going as well as the last round did. He's going to be able to find the next one and the second as well. This is a one-man show right now over towards the A bombsite as he tries to hunt down more. Oh, potentially CSGO'd in that final one against Latic. Hits the shot before the AWP connects. Now on a 3 versus 3, this A bombsite has been lost left from CT Presence. Oh my God, Lucky, there's no bullets in that, my friend. You are lucky to still be alive. Calyx on the back line is going to be able to take down Norway. Big frag to find. Lucky picks up one more with the drop torp. In the final round, Eternal Fire looked like their fire's been extinguished.
It's 2v2. Both of them have kits, but no utility. It's got to be Raw. They've got to go in dry for this one. And they're walking up on the close wall. Major leading the charge, knows the time is dangerously close. There isn't much left on this one. Lackey with a scavenged orb he stole from Irmore. He'll strike twice, claps back, and ends it out with another round for Aurora. That's the way it finishes out there.
These guys are too, so we just have to play our game and play better than them.
We just talked to SDY a little bit about this. There's these tier 2 teams that are coming up. Do you think that's the main explanation, is that people have a lot of resources, or is there something else that's happening in the tier 1 scene that's making them a little bit vulnerable to attack from some of the lesser known teams?
I mean, the whole partner system is making sure that nobody can really breathe outside of that system, making it like you could see at the last major, what was it, 6 out of 8 teams were not franchise teams in Blast, right? And it makes it pretty much impossible for these teams to show, but like at the majors, there will always be a ton of upsets because these teams are almost at the same levels as the other teams, and it's very easy to get upset, especially in the best of ones.
And I mean, for you guys at ENCE, I mean, there's been a lot of roster changes going on. There's been some swapping out. Obviously, you know, kind of getting rid of Hades at one point. How does it feel now? Where's the roster at right now? You guys had a bit of a rough start, but does it feel like the whole project is kind of coming together now?
I mean, we played really good at EPL. We had a result we're proud of, and here we still have a chance to get what we want, which is essentially just to qualify for the major. It doesn't really matter much if you go legend or challenger or contender or whatever. You just want to get there, and we still have a chance to do that. So we're going to fight and try to get there today.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, there are some people that have a little bit of a theory that actually playing through the challenger stage is almost a bit of an advantage because you're warmed up in the major. You're coming from legend, you're a little bit cold. Is that something you believe in?
Maybe, not really. Like, I think it doesn't really matter.
That's fair. Any fighting words for 500? You guys gonna take them down? How do you feel?
We feel good. Like just like yesterday, we have now our backs against the wall, and I think that we played in an elimination game yesterday. 500 didn't, so we already have a bit more experience in that sense than them. So I just think we'll play as we did yesterday, hopefully on the first map, and that should be enough to win today.
Not lacking
nice.
for Aurora. It was Lackey finding impact.
If they played as well as they did versus I-Nation first map, sure, I can give it to ENCE. Another 16-0 perhaps. But yeah, it's definitely a favourable match for ENCE, but they can't underestimate
Eternal Fire. Instead, Orb was stolen by Lackey, and he just goes absolutely nuclear. The entire roster really starting to feel the hype now as well, believing, Cody, that this is where the 2-0 can be done.
You're completely right. Almost blew up in his face when he first picked it up, though. It was devoid of bullets and had to reload it. He didn't realise that as he went for the swing.
What do you mean it's only got 5 bullets now?
Wait, what's happening here? This isn't allowed. It is going to be the pistol round, of course, and, well, to my surprise, Imor has not gone for the Jawlies. Instead, opted for the half armor instead. And he's going to be surrounded by utility on everyone else. We do see an upgraded pistol over on Celta, though. Dual Berettas still finding some use. This is quite a passive angle if I'm honest. They're going to go for this swing. Xantaros, I don't think he's going to be able to see him here. Might be able to see like the edge of the arm or something. Might just blend into the background.
No, yeah. Celta just wants to play for the contact to kind of bait them in. He's basically got like a little pixel gap.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, there's a little crack in the
pillar. You can drop the smoke, but obviously it's really hard to get the shot off. So if he sees the feet, you smoke, you play around it, and he'll set himself up.
I'm a fan of this one. I like this angle.
You can steal that. Write that down. That's for the MM games. Oh, this could work so perfectly, dude. The only man with the dualies, Celta as well, had a belter of a game. Back on Mirage.
Wacky on the rotate to help
got
out.
The flank, they've got the read, he's dropped the smoke, he's playing close to it. You're pinned in. They're going to know this is a full A play soon as well. They're clearing out towards T-spawn. That's the call for it. They're all going to rotate round. So the cavalry is already coming. And the captain, the main man, Celta.
Here it comes.
Waiting, 2 guns in his hands. Going to be going up against 5 pistols. Flashbang already leaves them. Looking, Dave, confused. Hits one. Xantaros for the trade on the Glock. The pistols in the back line, though. They're looking for the fight. Kenzie strikes. Dink onto the teammate. That's not what you want, but a kill certainly will be.
Really nice hit from Etzfeld. If you can find this lurking player behind enemy lines as well in the form of Lackey, that's going to be amazing, but he's going to be pushing on up. He's running dry of bullets. Only 1 remaining in the chamber. 9 seconds on the clock now as well. He's run it low, and Kenzie's going to be able to find that kill to secure an 11th round. And great tempo here from Aurora to be able to stifle the flames of Eternal Fire once more.
Remove the oxygen, remove the fire as they get extinguished on this push.
Even though we only see 1 kill from Celta there, he gains so much information that he works as like 4 people. Like finding that opening kill, which slows them down, makes them double guess themselves, and then everyone else comes out onto the site, and instead of it just being Celta, the information's given, everyone's there.
Just a nice pistol round overall, right? You knew you had the space. You're thinking, well, no one's tested me. I'm going to go for the info play. Suddenly, you've cleared out all of T-spawn. You've seen absolutely no one. The read then is, of course, Celta. Be ready for the B push. He's playing on that angle, repositions Bakudovit, assuming it is going to be a B, so he can drop the smoke and play for the 1-for-1. And this is sad to see, man.
Head in the hands.
Yeah, I suppose it is one of those where how else do you really, you know, deal with the emotions in the moment for Eternal Fire, for Major especially. He's no one that, you know, kind of shies away from how he feels about the game, how much it means to him. He always wears his heart on his sleeve. I think that's why a lot of people really do resonate with the guy.
For sure.
And it's rough, but so tech pause with Major looking like he's just taking some time for himself at the minute.
It's going to work out kind of in his favor, which is super nice. Super nice. And yeah, this is the human elephant.
Human elephant?
The human elephant.
God damn, would that be like an elephant that's part human?
It is.
And on fire?
It is indeed. How are you reading my mind?
Bloody hell.
This is the human element being on display once again.
That'd get people to go back to zoos. You know what I mean? Like once you've seen one elephant, you've kind of seen all the elephants, but a elephant. I'm down with that.
Oh, Jesus. Did you know that actually, this is really out of left field, there was a Ghost Rider comic where it was back at like 1 million BC.
Right.
He rode around on a flaming mammoth.
Oh.
That was quite interesting.
Well, I suppose they are quite woolly, very flammable.
Yeah, they are very flammable. He jumped on top. So, oh, okay, well, that's a bad day.
Caught fire.
But no, anyway, back to kind of the human element side of things. This is why people love Counter-Strike, right? Yes, the game is amazing. Everyone enjoys playing it. But then you look over towards the esports scene. You look at the people who are inside of it. A lot of people are enjoying themselves. You can see everyone's kind of having fun on the server right now and off the server during these situations as well. Do not punch the monitor, for the love of God, Celta. As a matter of fact, is he saying that might have been what's happened? I don't think we've seen a shot from it.
I see where you're going with this, that they're speculating. Well, it is a server restart for context of what's going on. So
no one smashed the monitor. That's always good.
No monitor destruction. It was a server reset that we had going on in the background. So that's what we're just doing, getting the players back in and recovering things from there. But that is a bit of good banter. The Aurora lads do kind of seem like they have a good team vibe. I will say also, in terms of the drip that they've gone for, man, the tracksuits, like the, you know, kind of off green, it looks really good. They actually look sick.
They are quite nice. There was someone put a tweet out the other day because in our prediction kind of graphic, it was all of the teams had like just white logos and that was it. And these are the 2 teams that actually bring color into that kind of element. Both blue. I do like the color of the Aurora logo. I like the color of their jerseys as well. if you're getting the hint, me and Jackie want some Aurora jerseys, so feel free, Aurora, to send some over. Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're vibing. They're looking happy. They're looking excited. Latic gives us a little side eye there. He's like, hey, you know what's up. You know how it's going. Eternal Fire, though, as we looked over them a couple moments ago, they aren't, well, Xcloud is looking tired. He's looking bored of this now, so is Antares. They're not looking themselves here. If they win maybe 2 more rounds here, they reinvigorate themselves. We see once again Imor just bellow from the depths to scream and reinvigorate his team. He went massive in those past few rounds, but in the pistol wasn't able to find anything. It's going to be this next round that we're soon to be seeing, which is going to be the important one. If they can find that, convert it, and upset their opponent who are going to have a better buy than them, then we're still in the game.
Yeah, it can go one of 2 ways as well when you have an extended timeout like this. You know, sometimes the team that's absolutely dominating comes back in a little bit overconfident, reliving the memories of how the game's gone. You make a few mistakes, you give your opponent an entry back in, suddenly we could have a game on our hands. But from the body language, from how Eternal Fire look, doesn't quite look like the roster that we know and love.
No, and that's the issue, right? Because there's so much experience on this roster. Like, there's names that everyone knows. Like, we've been talking about Major and Xantares, but I mean,